Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. Okay, a friend of mine out in Aussie, they want me to do this natal chart of a person they know. And that's all I'll say right now. I want to let the chart speak for itself. Um, we're going to go right in. Now, first house is ruled by Aries. And the sign in that house is Capricorn. And this is a person who definitely is a worker, and they worry about their reputation. Capricorn rules the 10th house of career and reputation. And ironically, when you look right over to their 10th house, you immediately see Libra. So that's going to be partnership, relationship. And we'll learn more about it when we get over there. But we're trying to just get a quick view on this person. And I just did a person with the moon in Capricorn. Or it was a moon in the 10th house, excuse me. So we're going to do that a little bit. And we will be taking our time. It is in 2 more minutes. It'll be 12 a.m. Thursday, 6:22. In 2 more minutes. All right. All right. I can't believe Guns N' Roses is coming to the Apollo Theater, but it's going to be a private concert for Sirius. And there's something called Alexis, which I never heard of till now. They now play Howard Stern. They're trying to tell you. But you're gonna hear it on Sirius XM. You're gonna hear Guns N' Roses in the Apollo Theater. That's kind of crazy. Isn't that an oxymoron? All right. Now, we're looking for the moon in Capricorn. Now, this guy, again, remember, the moon rules Cancer. I told you, whenever you see a unique Capricorn Cancer connection, a lot of these people were sent as opposed to just being born here. And what happens is when they come, they didn't realize how heavy the energy is when they get here, and they really do. A lot of them become addicts and all kind of crap, and they really lose it. Like they can flip out. Like believe me, I went through the same stuff. That's why I can understand all this low life, because I used to be one. I'm not putting nobody down by calling you a low life. I used to be the biggest, like Paul said. I was the biggest, the low life and the hanging out and the violence and all kind of crazy shit. I used to be one of those people foremost. That's what I mean by low energy, low life, because you're not seeing a bigger picture. And they come here and they don't know, they can't deal with it because it's just low energy. They're not used to it, and they like, if you can't win them, join them and whatever. And they just start falling out there, getting high and whatever else. But we'll continue to look at it. Okay, we're gonna try to use always astrology a lot. Maybe not always, but they do give good information. It just depends on how we go. Or was it also? Well, maybe it wasn't. I thought it was. I forget what we did. I want to look one more second. Always astrology is good too, but there was another one with an A that I use. I use it a lot. It might be astrology something.org. ThoughtCo is pretty good, but for this particular reading, I'm not gonna bounce all over. We're gonna get, what I'm trying to do in this particular reading is just get an overall about this person. A moon in Capricorn needs to feel useful. Remember, this is your first house, so this is still about your personality, the person's personality. And Aries is going to make them kind of forward moving and focused with that sign energy. They're competent and collective, even when their emotions are churning beneath the surface. They want realistic goals and clear boundaries set. And that is, I'm not going to say always, but a lot of times when you have a man and he's real polite, Because that's what I had to learn. I know I'm real polite, and like a female will look at you, it kind of worries her. So why is she getting? But a lot of these guys, they say thank you, they say please and stuff. But at the same time, they can switch on you. They could be like bipolar, they'll get very violent because they feel disrespected and shit. That's why when you saw the mob guys, they always was wearing suits and shit. See, that's a Capricorn. But see, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and the metaphysics of Saturn is Satan, and that's your card, your number 15, the Lover's card. That's Capricorn, the devil card. It's Capricorn. So that's why you see the mob guys. They look good. They're real professional and stuff like that. But you better not cross them, and you better not disrespect them. So they can go from women laughing, or they'll fucking fool you. They'll empty their gun out in you and laughing the whole time they're killing you and shit. If you watch those mob movies and shit, but that's all that moon stuff and that Scorpio stuff and all that crazy stuff. So we need to get that out there right away. They say Capricorn are not risk takers. They much prefer security and safety and plan ahead for every eventuality. So they don't deal with the messy emotions that well. They're frightened to deal with them. They can have mood swings. They can dip pretty far into the darkness themselves, just like I'm telling you. I already told you that. They don't like to dwell into this side. The Capricorn moon sign person is their worst critic. So when you're dealing with somebody that has all that criticism and all that crazy stuff going on inside of them, it's kind of wise not to this is not gonna be somebody you will let in, because you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna self-destruct. And the way you see all those signs all over this guy's chart, they can really be hard on themselves. And again, we got to be honest. If they're hard on themselves, which means they can also be hard on other people. They often hide their own sensitivity behind a sarcastic demeanor. They are painfully aware of their faults and weaknesses and try very diligently to compensate for them. So like Capricorn is always worried about that public reputation. A moon in Capricorn may come across as cold and calculating. And that's the kind of stuff they say about criminals and shit. But in reality, they just don't feel comfortable letting their feelings hang out in public. They prefer to be organized and efficient, practical to the bone. Those born under this moon sign have a strong need to feel worthwhile. They want to be responsible in the eyes of others. Patience and able to endure quite a bit. Capricorn moon has a big sense of duty. They jump to take responsibilities on the job or at work. They may feel that they give more than they get, and it takes a lot for them to learn that others are giving back to them. They need to learn to give affection. They need to learn to give affection. They may feel it. I think they wrote that wrong. Let me try it again. I know y'all know what they meant, but I like to read the words they wrote it and make sure it's not me. They need to learn to give affection. They may feel it. They just tend not to show it very well to those they love. Okay, so this is what they're saying. They need to learn to give affection, period. They may feel affection. They just tend not to show it very well to those they love. And that's not good, because everybody needs love, especially from your lover, your mom, your dad. In a relationship, they are often unable or unwilling to see what their partner wants or needs. Okay, so why would somebody want to be in a relationship with somebody like you? They tend to worry and find it difficult to relate to those who have difficult values and opinions. They have a hard time discussing their own problems. It is rare that they feel relaxed and content within themselves. They feel rejection. Unless everything is outlined clearly, they feel insecure. So this is a nut job. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm not being hard on this person, but we just got to the first house. So you're going to be with somebody who's going through all this self-doubt and rejection and shit. The little thing you do, they're gonna view that as, like I said, are you disrespecting me? Are you rejecting me and shit? And flip the fuck out. What do you mean when you hear about them gangsters shooting people for the most stupidest reasons? Open fire kills this guy. Why did you kill him? He was looking at me. Dude, the guy's blind. Well, fuck him anyway. I don't care. Like, you just took somebody's life for the most stupidest reason in the world. It may take them a long time to find someone to trust and love. They mellow with age, as competition isn't so important and can generally be a lot of fun as they get older. Capricorn moon likes to get their own way. They can be ambitious and strong of will, especially as it helps their career. They like the spotlight and do well in public positions. Often very intelligent, they have a great respect of knowledge, and they know how to use it to their benefit. They do have a problem with holding anger and resentment deep inside, and can actually cause illness or depression within themselves because they don't heal with their dealings. Now, don't you hear that a lot about mobsters? Like when they finally get them to the hospital, like when they die, they do a autopsy on them, and they find out they had all these diseases that they were holding on to that they never talked about. Moon in Capricorn is dignified and tenacious. They are able to concentrate well and don't like to be idle. They can motivate others. When they do lose control, you might as well be standing in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. Luckily, this doesn't happen very often. Yeah, but you don't want to be there when it does, okay? And who are you to say? Are you in everybody's house? Do you know how many times the Moon in Capricorn blows? You don't know. They're just trying to be positive. Oh, don't think bad. No, when I see some shit like that, stay the hell away from me. Because your ass is crazy, and I don't need the aggravation. I've been around a lot of people. Maybe they didn't have Moon in Capricorn, but they damn sure acted like they did. Alright, give me a second, y'all. Gats in the building. Alright. I think whatever they were doing with the computer, it looks like it's working a little bit faster because my computer was running real slow. Give me a moment before we move on. I might even put this on pause for a second. Alright. I'll be right back. Alrighty. So far we got an ascendant is just more about the person's personality, but the ascendant is where the sun was rising at the time of this person's birth. And each point is just idealistic, like the idealist of like idealism. There's not a whole lot of information on the each point, but it deals with like the ideal situation or whatever. Alright. I'm just gonna type in because Vesta is that asteroid. So I'm just gonna type in Vesta retrograde and see what happens. Vesta retrograde. This is the time to get back to your center. It's time to focus inward and find ways to amuse yourself by yourself, to playfully find your creative epicenter. Tend to your altar, whatever form it takes. To even build and strengthen your inner firewall. Get centered. We can do way better than that. Especially he's trying to give a definition of Vesta from a 2017 guy who likes to surf and play video games. You can't do that. Vesta has very little to do with that. Vesta is very spiritual. That's why he said altar. He knows she's spiritual, but he wants to turn it into, oh, cool out, dude. It's like the same people that take Jesus and turn Jesus into a rock and roller and stuff like that. You're taking something highly spiritual, highly wonderful, and trying to bring him down to where you're at. It's pathetic. So we don't do that here. All right, just give me a little bit. All right, what we're going to do first, let me do this again. When Vesta is retrograde, Vesta, she's going whatever situation when she's direct, but his Vesta is not direct, so listen very closely. She's basically about spiritual devotion, family. So now this person is trying to say Vesta's, which is the first time I'm hearing this. But they're saying that Vesta might, be very sexually active, even with other partners. But when you see Vesta retrograde, this person will be repressed sexually. So that might be the case in this person, because like I told you, this is why I always like to go to the internet and get a second opinion. Because if you just keep giving the same general interpretations for every chart you read, it might not be legitimate. So when I do what I do, it's like you go to the universe, and the universe will get you to where you be. So I know Vesta is known for being spiritual. Like in if you see Vesta on your chart, she's usually trying to tell you be spiritual, have a spiritual side to yourself. She can be associated with family too. She's associated with energy. She's associated with heaters, furnaces, fireplaces, anything with energy, electricity. But she also indicates areas in your chart where you need to slow down. There's too much energy being given there, so you need to learn how to take breaks. Now that's what I know about Vesta. But this time it's telling you that Vesta deals with almost like having sex, like sex with anybody. I mean, not sex with anybody, just having sex, no limit. But if you see Vesta retrograde, then this person is sexually repressed. They have sexual problems. Um, the way they view sex or whatever happened, maybe they were abused, whatever happened to them. Now, we already learned that because it already told you that this person's repressed, and they're holding all that in, which is why that is the type of person will blow up and start whipping your ass, because what they're doing is they're just fighting. They're still like, I'm mad my dad hit me, now I'm gonna hit you. Like I'm why is this world so mean to me? I'm gonna be mean to you because you hurt me, and I'm gonna take it out on you. Or if they're weak, they'll bully a female because they'll bully somebody that won't hit back, or somebody that they know they can beat. And I'm not like, you don't know everything I know, so it's not that I'm stretching. I'm telling you based on what I already know, based on what I'm already seeing. And keep in mind, okay, this is Valky, VALKYRIE astrology.com. So, and it says the asteroid Vesta. So that's where I got this information from. So somebody can't, think I'm adding to it or putting my 2 cents in or trying to sway it my way. The first started telling you this guy has a lot of repression issues. He has a lot of repression issues, and he's so internal, he's effed up, and then external, he's worrying about what other people think, and that drives him a little crazy. So much that you worry about what other people think because you're a Capricorn, but then you do some crazy ass shit to get you in trouble with the public. Like if you beat the crap out of somebody and now it's in the paper, you just fucked your reputation up worse. So that's when you're dealing with these type of people. Like I said, when you're dealing with a gangster and he kills somebody in public, come on, you're a gangster. You're supposed to understand that stuff you're doing is illegal. It's supposed to be underground. It's not supposed to be in public. But they are so fucked up that they either think they can't get caught or think somebody won't ID them or whatever the fuck they're thinking, that they actually take somebody's life in public. And then they're so crazy that they say, okay, it was 4 witnesses. Okay, we'll find every one of them and kill every last one of them. So now you're going to kill 4 more people? Why didn't you just wait till the dark time and take the guy out like everybody else? So this is crazy shit. So that's what you see in the first house. You can't get away from it. I'll be back in a minute. And some of these like gangster minded people they are spiritual people. They have their own sense of spirituality. All right, I'll be right back. So Vesta might actually be in his first house to try to help him not blow up, because she's usually there to help you with your spirituality usually. All right, so now we're going to continue into the second house. There you see his true north node. So this is what he should be working on in this life, and it's Aquarius in the second house of money and possessions. So he would find a career, or he would make money, or I should say he would make money basically helping others or enlightening other people. That's his true north node, and it's at 33. He might even find himself connected to some form of Freemasonry or secret societies with that number 33. And so we basically know the Mars in the second house. Keep in mind the second house is ruled by Taurus. But what you really want to understand is we're going to try Mars retrograde in Aquarius. This is Cafe Astrology. Got astrology.com. I don't want to read that one. It's not exactly what I'm asking for. Mars, okay. Retrogrades and natal charts. All right, what they want me to do is they want me to do the house first. Mars retrograde in second house. This time we're going to use store code. Well, this is Lynn Coiner, and because I like Lynn Coiner so much, LINNKOINER. Retrogrades in the natal houses, but the point is, she may or may not have done Mars. So that's the catch. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. See, that's what I'm saying. She's not really doing Mars retrograde, so that's what we're looking for. Alright, she can't help us. This is thoughtcode.com. Give it a second. It's going to take a little second. When Mars retrogrades to a house in the birth chart, it stirs up conflict and dynamicism in that area. It is an astrological red light district full of juicy vitality to draw from, a temporary source of heightened passion. Retrogrades bring fated events, and often this leads to a restructuring of the area in question. Each house represents an arena of life, and observing the motion of transiting Mars through your chart lends insight to what might be in store. Second house, there's energy to go through the possessions and purge what's no longer useful or of value. Mars provokes questions about how well you're using resources and whether you're building up the base that is solid, a base that is solid. There could be conflicts regarding finances, especially how money is being invested for the future. All right, that's Mars in the second house. So now you need to know, again, Aquarius in the second house. This is astrology.com. Astrologyclub.org is usually a good one. We use it. You meet your basic survival and or comfort needs through collaborative efforts and activities through groups. Yeah, because Aquarius rules 11th house, so it would be about friends and groups and stuff. Or you may mask your own individual need by bundling them in the needs of the group or the greater whole. You may also place a great deal of value on tech gadgets, because your Uranus and Aquarius both deal with technology. Your financial, material, and physical resources are likely to come through work and or associated with the latest technology or mass multimedia, and these days probably through a combination of both. So he might be somewhat of a media type guy, high tech guy, technology guy. You may find that you have a lot of ideas about how to use technology to generate financial material capital for a humanitarian cause or organization. Yeah, because they're talking about Aquarius. That's why they say humanitarian. But we got to remember about that Mars. On the flip side, you may do everything you can to be independent of the system in order to maintain your individuality or freedom, because both Aquarius and Uranus want their freedom. With this placement, the idea of living off the grid could appeal to you. The karmic responsibility, because we're talking about karma, of the second house in Aquarius is to establish the proper values in life. Here we do have a quality entering into the picture through the natural rulership of Taurus, because Taurus rules the second house. For often Aquarian can be quite obstinate, stubborn, might resist change, yet promoting change for everybody else. But the Aquarian will not like to change himself, even though the change does represent growth. Aquarius is also considered a very intelligent sign, so the value of knowledge as it applies to life should be considered by Aquarius in the second house. There is also value here that must be determined here by the Aquarian and being part of the organization, the establishment, promoting the changes from within rather than discarding what is already there. They are so frequently concerned with broader social issues. But the requirements of the second house are that they bring their focus inward on themselves and their own personal standards. Often Aquarius tends to negate the value of the material world and the physical plane of existence. They tend to live ascetic lives and look down upon materiality. The responsibility of part of the Aquarian is to value the purpose of the material world as it relates to the spiritual world, which is the source of all manifested life. Righteousness must correspond to the original meaning of the word, which is right useness, right use. Mars retrograde in the signs. Now, I don't think nobody's going to have that. Give me a second. Just everything's running slow. What the heck just happened? I'm looking at this. This is kind of weird. I might have my answer, but it's so much writing. I gotta go back to the beginning of this. Mars retrograde through the signs. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, so we want Mars retrograde in Aquarius. Give me a second. I gotta use my find command because there's so much writings. Okay. Now it is going to be very important. Please listen up. All Mars retrograde cycles affect you in the areas of communication, siblings, neighbors, acquaintances, and transportation. Communication and transportation might take a hit somehow, making it harder to get from point A to point B. For example, for involving missed meetings, delays, and red tape, challenges with studies, or mechanical breakdowns. These can be frustrations with self-expression or impatience with social niceties. So, in his second house, which is Aquarius, but it's also dealing with technologies and all that, but he's got a Mars retrograde. So he may have a problem in these areas I'm naming that's going to affect him financially. So he may have a problem with business income. He also may have a problem with working towards his higher goals and hopes, because that's what Aquarius is. Also, maybe problems with a community or activities. So he may have problems, even if he was doing with technology. Maybe let's say he's supposed to update technology in a certain group or whatever. It may not go the way he would have liked it to go because of Mars retrograde. Says it can also mean friendship because that's Aquarius too. Can be problems or setbacks. And it could all deal with it could have money problems with your friends because Aquarius is the friend sign. But what I'm saying is Mars retrograde means problems. I'm reading it right here. This is Cafe Astrology. Mars retrograde. It's Mars retrograde in the signs. See, I just keep it 100. See, when you're dealing with somebody where so much is going wrong, because it's like that. Me being an Earth angel, there's always stuff going wrong, and you have to really start to deal with it because it's hard because you're trying to get things for it. And my moon sign is Capricorn, so you want things to be right. You want that security that things go, but if things keep going wrong, keep going wrong, keep going wrong, and then somebody might come up to you, and every time they come up to you, it's always some bullshit, and then you finally just snap like ah. So that's the whole art of learning how to let it go and trusting in the universe. So they say it could be frustration, or they're always either getting different friends or reassessing the friends they have, or they're always in some type of beef with their friends. That's all Mars retrograde in Aquarius, because the 11th house is friends and association and groups. So this person will be second guessing themselves because retrograde makes you look internally. So you will be analyzing, reanalyzing, reassessing. And unfortunately, that's his true north node. Is That's what he should be working on in this life. Now we're not going to do it just yet, but when we get over right across, you see Leo. Now that's his south node, which is that should be about his past life. And ironically, there goes Juno. All right, give me a moment. I'm just be looking around doing a couple of things. All right. Yep. And the woman that requested this, her sun sign is Leo. And if you notice, Vesta's right there. Oh, you don't see the chart. I do. Well, let me see. Maybe I'll put both charts. So by the time you see this, you'll see the two charts. Her chart is going to be on the right, because this chart is about him predominantly. So that would make sense. Past life, and then he's with her again in this life. But again, that's deeper investigation. Right now, these are just observations. All right, so we're not any house that doesn't like the next house is the third house, Gemini, but he's a spiritual person. Essentially, that's what the third house means: communication, creativity, siblings, younger ones, younger education, multitasking, a lot of thought. So he has a spiritual side there, but like I told you, you really have to concentrate on where the planets are and things like that. Now, in his family, he seems to be a leader in his family with Aries, but he's got some pain there. He's got some pain there that doesn't want to go away. The fourth house is going to be about teenage and adult education, land and property. Imam Kweli, whoever raised him as mother when he was younger, and that's his subconscious. Land, property, heart trouble, possibly travel, vehicle travel. And Aries means he's a leader in that fourth house. It can mean aggression as well, but somehow he had some trouble there. Oh, yeah. Give me one moment. All right. Just clearing a couple of things up. Now, we're looking at Chiron retrograde, but they never, it just means healing. So, well, it's in the fourth house, so it was some type of family situation. But again, your fourth house does not always have to mean your family. It could mean your twin, because that's family too. This, let's see. All right. Now, this is Chiron direct, but we need Chiron retrograde. But Chiron in Aries affects a sense of self. So once again, this person definitely has a self issue going on because it goes right back to the moon. And remember, the moon sign rules Cancer, which is the 4th house. So he's had some issue, whether in this life or past life, that was probably a family issue or an issue with his mother or something that has really messed him up. Chiron and Aries affect sense of self. They may find themselves on a voyage of self-discovery or need to overcome feelings of worthlessness. When Chiron is placed here, Chiron deals with healing, so they may need to discover ways of healing themselves. The sign is associated with headaches, head wounds, and other injuries in this area. They may need to deal with an actual physical injury like these, or it could be a psychological wound to their sense of self. And that's what it was. We already did that. And it's funny, the moon was there, moon in Capricorn, but that moon is a divine feminine. So that's feminine issues, usually your earthly mother. Whoever was his I'm Uncle Ellie, they hurt him in some type of way. If you were hurt or abused by a woman, deep down you may hate women. If you went through, because I had women all around me, and they drove me fucking crazy. But I'm honest about it. I don't lie about it. But I don't hate women, but I want to tell you, y'all do some fucked up shit. I don't hate you, but y'all got some shitty shit y'all do. I mean, I ain't saying men are perfect, but y'all women got some shit with you. So if a dude if he represses it, like with all those retrogrades, it's like he repress it. And if he gets to the point where he's unstable, somebody really, he's stressed out, he gonna take that out on that person. And if it's a female, I feel sorry for her and shit, because he's still fighting his mother. Because that's what it's starting to look like more and more. They may need to deal with the actual injury, or it could be a psychological wound to their sense of self. Or if you had a mother that was always telling you ain't shit, you ain't blah, blah, blah. See, what kept me cool? This is what kept me cool. This is why I'm still alive. I knew I didn't come from planet Earth. I was a little boy. And when I saw how evil these peoples was, I said, man, this can't be my real family. And like, I still feel love from where I came from. I've been on this planet for over 40 years. That love I felt when I first got here is still just as strong. I'm not from this fucking planet. I know where I'm from. We had class, dignity, honor. Our military was the shit. We was the mighty ones. We ain't all that fake shit. Just like I said, I recently met a dude at a gas station, and I told you about the 2 females on bikes. I told you this was an Earth Angel situation. Now, I don't even know him. I rarely ever talk to him, but last time I seen him, that dude blessed me, like, beautifully. I don't even know that dude like that, but it's an Earth Angel thing. Like, where we from, we not like this petty shit. So that's what kept me strong. Of course, God, but just remembering who I was when I got here and shit. I didn't come here to just live a life, because I was doing alcohol and weed, but I stopped the weed like a long time ago. But I didn't come here for that. So I never got like hooked. But was I drink? I was drinking since I was 13. I didn't give up drinking until like 2011. But I know I had a mission. So my mission was always more important than anything else I ever did. They say this person needs to exert themselves and track their accomplishments, take charge in order to heal themselves. They will learn to value themselves and how to care for themselves. They will find that once they value themselves, others will too. So whoever wrote it was trying to give them advice, but we didn't ask you to give advice. We asked you to tell us what it meant. All right. All right. So we'll look at it a little bit more, but it's just becoming more and more it's becoming more and more obvious to me. Now, something else I want to teach you. Now, when you go to 2 Corinthians chapter 12, Paul talks about going up to paradise. Well, paradise is the divine womb. It's the divine darkness that was with Jesus at the cross. That's Luke 23, verse 43 to 46. At the 6th hour, and that's Venus's number 6. At the 6th hour, it went dark on Jesus. Right after he said, "Truly I tell you today, you shall be with me in paradise." So that was a divine womb, that darkness. So in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, God takes Paul into paradise. In other words, God took Paul into the divine womb. And then David called it the deep in Psalms 23, because God took David into the deep. And then David called it the shadow of death in Psalms 23. So these are people God invites into the divine womb. But it's called the deep, or the valley, or the wilderness, and stuff like that in the Bible. And that's why, if you notice, the Holy Spirit, who people say is feminine, called Shekinah glory, took Jesus to say who? Satan, the devil. But there's a lot of people that portray the devil as being feminine. And a lot of people do that. So that's Matthew chapter 4. So what I'm trying to tell you is this person may be going through hell. See, when somebody is mean towards us, or they're crazy, or they kick our ass, the first thing we're going to do is say, fuck them, they're crazy. And they same thing I would say about my father. But when you pull yourself out of that situation, you realize they're going through hell too. And unlike me, my father didn't know astrology. He was trying to understand certain things, but he didn't know. I felt sorry for him because it was a different time. So he came out of the 50s and shit. And once you got to them 70s, everything changed. When they hit the 1970s, the women was like, fuck you men. And that's when all that shit started. I'm a woman, hear me roar, pulling their bras off, all kind of crazy shit went there. Poor men. But at the same time, I don't really blame the women for rebelling. I'm not anti-women. Because a lot of the men, they had it locked down. And, you know, they was bullies and shit. They wasn't treating their wives with love and shit. And their wives finally rolled up on them and shit. My father wasn't that bad, but my mom, you ain't stopping my mother. My mother been all over the world. She a little old lady. She's still traveling. She ain't home now. That lady, you ain't gonna stop her. So I understand it and I kind of respect it. But the only thing I don't like about it is when you are so selfish that you destroy a man who tried to be your husband, and a lot of y'all do that, or he tried to love you and y'all ran over top of him, and you separate your own family. And the Bible says if you separate your own family, you will inherit only the wind. It's a little selfish. So I do have a problem with anybody that does that. But other than that, like I know how I know how the game is really played. Therefore, I'm not trying to get hurt no more. Not like that no more. Because I know planet Earth. It's certain things you have to know to really, like, you either got to be a low-life piece of shit, somewhat of a liar, or selfish to really move forward on this planet. And all these people will smile in your face and act like they're not like that. But if you were to see them 24 hours a day and 7 days, you would see they do a lot of grimy shit to stay in power. And everybody does it. If you're living in a really nice neighborhood, you've done some dirty shit somewhere to get there. A lot of females on their knees. A lot of stuff's going down. Gary knows how the game's played. I've been here long enough. And there's a few people that might have done it different ways, that God bless them or something like that. But most people, be careful. Because if they got to knife you in the back to get to where they think they need to be, your ass is dead. How many dudes came out the hood? They was homeboys that that money started coming in. Then they sold each other out, killing each other, setting each other up. So you got to really know what this planet's about. Alright, I got to put this on pause. I shall be back. Also, what I'm trying to tell you was the divine feminine that took Jesus and Paul through all, and David through all that shit. And I try to show it to you. And I'm sorry if you don't see it. And I'm not blaming nobody. I'm just trying to tell you how the world really works. I was watching a video on YouTube. It was a mother dog, a bulldog. And she had a little teeny baby dog. And she just kept bullying that dog. Bullying it. And the little dog would get mad and try to like jump on and try to bite her nose and shit. And he would keep bullying it and wouldn't stop. And you say, wow, why is that necessary? Because she's making them tough. And like, I don't know if y'all can understand that. Like I said, I hung out with dudes. And they had daughters because they didn't have no sons yet. And they would be making their daughters tough. Because I remember first time I said, man, what you doing to that little girl? He said, man, he told me why. He said, I'm making her tough. He said, because ain't no man going to take care of her. He said, you see how men be doing women. He said, you know how this world is. He said, I'm making her tough. He said, when she gets old, she's going to stand on her own. And I knew, like my dude, I call him C-Mac. And C-Mac is dead, rest in peace. But his daughter was not no punk. Like, she would sit with the thugs and everything. Like, we being a little girl come through, sitting with the thugs. And if the thugs had on Scully caps, she would go through the house and find a Scully cap and put the Scully cap on. And back then, Puffy was ruling everything. That was the days of Bad Boy. And we was watching an award show, the music awards, and she ain't say nothing. When Puffy came on, that little girl walked up to that TV screen and said, "He my husband. That's going to be my husband." Because she knew Puffy had the money and shit. Now, I'm not telling you that's the way to raise your kid. And I'm not saying he raised her to be like that, because she's just a little ass girl. But he raised her to be tough, and she was using her own brain. And again, when you start dealing with reincarnation and stuff like that, you come out the womb knowing what it's about. Because like I said, when I got here, I knew. As soon as I saw how these people acted to their own family, I said, this ain't my family. These niggas is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying that racially, but they was just crazy-ass people. Dysfunctional, crazy-ass people. And I'm a little kid. And these people out here trying to kill me and shit. So I had to learn how to fight to survive and shit my own people. So I'm just telling you 100. This is not a joke. So his daughter was tough. And you would be drinking beer, and she would come up to you and try to pull the beer out your hand and shit. She was crazy. She's just a little girl. I'm telling you, she wasn't barely 2 years old. But she studied her father. Her father was a thorough. That was C-Mac. And then like C-Mac, if you was trying to light like a cigarette or something, he would always blow the shit out. Like soon as you light the cigarette, he blow it out and shit. And then she would do the same shit. You get a light something, she blow that shit out and shit. Like, what the fuck? She just like C-Mac and shit. But she was tough. So I understand what they was doing. See, you got to be that way. Because all that nice guy shit is not cool. We could be nice when necessary, but we can also be grimy if necessary. It's what it takes. That's why when you study the Bible, God was always teaching his people to have swords and shit. Yeah, we a peaceable nation, but we not going to let you run over top of us. And then and a lot of people talk shit because they don't know the Bible. And then if everything's about love and forgiving and turning the other cheek, then why is Jesus coming with the sword in the last book of the Bible in judgment? So obviously everything's not about putting the weapons down and being a nice guy. You can get killed doing that. Like Tyario, he be teaching women self-defense. Because you on a crazy ass planet with crazy ass people. So you better know something. So I'm trying to teach y'all that when you see somebody going through a lot of shit, it could be they working with mama. And that's why you see Vesta, because Vesta's trying to say there's a spiritual side. Now that's why this woman, you see her chart as well. She has a situation with Leo, because she's a Leo, but Vesta's right there. So if they are twin flames, I'm not saying they are, but if they're twin flame, Vesta's trying to get them together. But unfortunately, it's a whole lot of stuff that's going down. So just so you can try to get a gist of what I'm saying, and we'll learn more as we continue with this chart. I will be back. All right. Now, so we definitely looked at some Chiron retrograde. We did Chiron retrograde in Aries. All right. Now the fourth house is ruled by Cancer. I'm just going to say Cancer, and then later on we'll try to do the fourth house and see if it'll come up. Chiron and Cancer. But remember, Chiron retrograde always is going to be trouble healing in this answer, in that area. This person may feel like an outsider. They may feel unwanted, unnurtured. See, that's the mother. That's the moon. And unloved. This is all mother. This dude's got mother issues. Now, I'm going to tell you the difference. I just tell you what it is. Okay, because I do the same thing with my chart. I find out what makes me a fucked up person. But I take it, you know, and I work on it. And a lot of people can't do that. They get pissed off. Like, they really want to fuck you up or something. But how's your life going to get better? Like, you know, some people are able to just go through life being dysfunctional, but other people can't. And you always got to wonder how somebody else. Like, I could never live like that. Like, if I was with a female and she's fucking somebody else and I'm fucking somebody else, but we looking at each other and acting like it's all cool, like we don't know what's really going on when we do. But a lot of people live that way because they don't know how to deal with that. But I can't do that shit. I'd rather be single. So for me personally, I've learned to continue to improve as much as I can. I just don't believe in that unconditional shit they talking about, because nothing's conditional. Even if it says, so God loved the world that he gave us, but they still have to obey. It ain't like he's just going to take you in and you can do whatever you want. At some point, you have to obey. At first, he might pull you out or whatever, but at some point, you're going to learn how to obey and learn how to work with him his way, or he's not going to keep dealing with you. So there's no such thing with it's unconditional. And I think anybody that says that is just jerking you. And a lot of people believe in, oh, fifth dimensional love, oh. But very few people find it. And then like with the whole twin flame thing, it's not so much that you're going to ascend in your love and vibrations and finally meet this person. Nah, if anything, y'all both going to have to learn how to talk and work through it. You're going to have to talk and work through the fact that this is difficult. Maybe you are my soulmate from a previous life, but in this life, I really don't know you. And in this life, I just don't feel comfortable. I can't let my guard down that easy. And that person's got to be willing to say, yeah, I understand. I know this is tough. Let's try to work on it. But usually they give up. Right now I'm going to the website of Twin Flame Era. Twin Flame singular Era. And they haven't been back. They did 6 videos and that was it. Irene and Josh. They were supposed to be teaching us about the Twin Flame Era, and they went so far they were actually living together. Some of them even left their marriage partner. But it didn't last. Why? Because they didn't understand it. Just because you live together and move together, you still got to have affection and love, and you really got to open up to each other. And that's the hard part. Because a female might say, well, I'm here with him. It's up to him to make me feel that way. But Josh, he's a typical, like, indigo. Like, he's very analytical. He's a indigo, a crystal child. And they're analytical and stuff like that. But you have to learn how to be emotional and sensual. And because women need that. So if you ever watch those videos, you can see Josh really showed emotions. And all Josh said was the pain was so great. And she would look at him like, she would just give him a look like, what do you mean the pain was so great? Because she took it personal. But no, believe me, I've been there. That pain is great. They don't understand that. Women don't never understand a man. You never will. But if a man really cares about you, he's not going to be arguing with you. But women need that kind of shit. And they love it. Like, they love the fucking everything. Anything that's emotional, they love it. But a man needs that security. Like, he needs to know that you're going to be there for me and that you're going to love me and stuff like that. But with a woman, she needs the feeling and shit. And that's why they get into it. Because it's funny because he's more like the bitch than she is. Because he's more in the feelings. And women don't understand that. But men need that. They need that emotional, everything. From, like, putting your hand on his shoulder or talking to him and holding conversation. And they need that. And sometimes you get men that act like they don't like it, but they do like it. Because if they lost it, they would regret it. So I guess everybody's playing a game with everybody in third dimensional. So me, I'm just learning the game in full. Because when I do return, and I think I will, unless God takes me off this planet before that, at least I want to know I'm gonna be at my A game. Now I already know just because I'm at my A game, that don't mean the person I'm dealing with is gonna be on their A game. But I'll see how far I can go before I finally say, fuck this. Like I normally do. But at least the next time I'm gonna know, at least I didn't tap out early. Like I went as far as I can. Like with my twin flame, I know for a fact I tried my best to talk to her. She was an a-hole. And if anything got crazy like it did, it was because she was an a-hole. But at the same time, if she is an a-hole, it's better that we didn't talk anyway. Or try to grow. Alright, so what else does it say? Now they say this type of person may feel unnurtured, but they can be nurturing. But it's difficult to let others care for them. They may give in to everyone else except themselves. I wonder if I got a Chiron retrograde on my chart, because I'm like that. They may end up taking in every stray that crosses their path. They need to learn to give to themselves and cherish their own needs. This helps balance them and make them whole. Opening themselves up to accept love and care from others is a big step towards healing that inner hurt. If they can learn to indulge themselves once in a while, they will begin to realize what they have been missing all along. So that's the family sign. So that's the problem he's got in the 4th house. Okay, this is cafe astrology, Chiron in the houses. So that's what we want. But we remember his Chiron is retrograde. But we've already discussed that. But so whatever I'm reading, you got to remember, you got to add the retrograde. Chiron is associated with the emotional wounds we receive in our lives. The sign Chiron is in will dominate. The sign that Chiron is in will dominate that house. Placing will show in which area the personality is motivated and into which they will put their efforts. So Aries. In the 4th house, it may indicate an insecure early family life, which we already said, and we're kind of placing that on a mother because of the moon presence in the 4th house is Imon Coeli and stuff like that. So much that the feelings of abandonment are being the black sheep persist. And that's what my family used to call me. Them devils. A lack of let me stop, I'll take it back. A lack of self-confidence may make you think doing anything with your life is a waste of time. You probably have a lot of time for other people and have great empathy. So they say this person actually cares for other people more than themselves. So that's unique because most people don't do that. Try to bring out the unique you by using the feeling of being different. But I used to be like that a lot too. I don't know why I think in the early days, maybe I was just looking for affection. I don't know. Now I just do what I do. All right. So there you have it. So we pretty much have an idea what's going on with this guy. All right, Taurus in the 5th house. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've had a lot of Tauruses in the 5th house, and they spend a lot of money on chances, gambling, stuff like that. So they can be real naive and waste money. 5th house is all about fun, romance, children, taking risk, having fun, entertainment, sports, card games, board games, anything that's fun, romance, love, getting out in nature, adventure, traveling. That's all in the 5th house. But now we had to find out why he has Palace there. And Palace is direct, so that should be easy to find. All right, and this one doesn't want to. I'll do it. Let me just try to find it. Let me do it again. I just said Palace in the 5th. This time I'm going to say Palace in the 5th house. Astrology, vision. Astrology, vision. Let's keep doing the same thing. Astrology, vision. Give me one moment. Yep. A palace and houses. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know if I want that one. No, it keeps saying astral fix. Palace and houses. Let's try this one. Astral fix. All right. Let's go with astral fix. Let's see what they say. Give me a second. This thing is acting up again. Oh, man. It's just one of them nights. Give me a second. I'll do this again. Come on. I don't feel like doing all that. All right. Astral fix. I think, all right, here we go. And that's why he says, because I was making a joke about the word fix because he calls himself Astro Fix. But that's what he calls himself, the blog of an astrology addict. I hope I don't lose. Yep, I did. Did I? Come on, bro. I did that. Anything to be a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. I'm just tired. Oh, man. All right. Astrology in the 5th house. Here we go. Picking up on artistic patterns. Because it's Palace in the 5th house. Picking up on artistic patterns. Seeing how creative projects can unfold. So Palace is helping this person be creative. Understanding how art impacts the world at large. So this guy might be an artist. He might be understanding child development. That's why I said when you study natal charts, I don't know if you guys know who Anthony Robbins is, Tony Robbins, but he's one of the greatest life coaches in the history of life coaches. And I happen to, because I get him. He comes in. I get his little newsletter and stuff. And they're trying to get people to sign up to be life coaches and stuff. So he was there and he had this one lady and she was really good. Like she had wrote like 2 best-selling novels. She's very creative and stuff. But she was fighting this feeling of worthlessness. So she tried to talk to him and they expected him to respond typical. Oh, you know, that's so sad. Oh, I'm so sorry you went through that. Oh, I know how you feel. Oh. But he was like, so what are you going to do about it? She said, some days I just want to, I just don't even want to get out of bed. He said, so why don't you just lay there? And then he was like, everybody was shocked that this is the greatest counselor in the world talking like that. But that's how, I wouldn't say it. You just got to listen. Because I knew what he was doing. I agree with it 100%. And he almost said it, but he knew it was people in there watching, so she couldn't say it. She was like, sometimes I've even thought about suicide. And he got ready to say, well, so why don't you go ahead and do it? But he knew that I was taking it too far. But he still said something like that. Like, you know, you seem to spend a lot of your time putting yourself down and looking at the darker sides of life. He said, but at the end of the day, those darker sides of life made you the way you are so that you can help other people. He said, no, we don't agree with the bad things that have happened to us or what we've been through or what others have done to us, but there may be a reason for it that we just can't understand. But look how many people you're helping. Because so far, now that we have a better idea of what's making this gentleman tick, we begin to understand. Because he will actually put other people ahead of himself. And I think she did say he's good with children. I think she did tell me that. I forget. I mean, overall, I'm not saying every time. Like, my father was great with children till he went crazy. But again, it wasn't fully his fault, because my mother, she will get in your head. If you let her, she will get in your head. And my twin used to do the same thing to me. All kind of crazy mind games. This is some 8th house psychotic Alfred Hitchcock psycho shit. And this shit really goes on in real life. And that's why I love astrology, because I'm able to help people see this is what it's really like. So Pallas is helping him to create art and to be creative and make projects and stuff, even for children. It said understanding child development, having a battle plan in sports, having a creative strategy, choosing androgynous love interest. This is the second time tonight they've associated female asteroids with pan sex with different people, androgynous sex. Like, I don't know. Preferring to abstain from love affairs, which I've done. Holistic healing or creativity. Deferring to children or romantic interests. But I don't like how they put that together. I want you to know I'm at astrofix.com. Astrofix.net. I'm sorry. And it says Pallas Athene in houses. Pallas Athene in houses. Because I just did a chart with a guy. And he had the same kind of things where it was easier for him to kind of... He had a lot of sexual stuff going on. And he had somewhat of a creepy 4th house around kids. So you got to be real careful with that. Because it's talking about... deferring to children or romantic interests. But that's not... They should never be in the same... You understand what I'm saying? They should never be in the same category. Strategic games, party planner. All right. So there you have it. All right. That was the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th house. Now, I would do his 11th house, but because he's got Neptune right on the border of the 10th and 11th house, or let me do that again. I would do the 12th house, but since he has Neptune retrograde right on the border at I will tell you this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. All right, let's do that. Because his we're going to look at his 11th house and his 12th house. I'm letting you know right now, his Neptune retrograde is carrying the energy from his 11th house into his 12th house. Now, you notice his Neptune deals with your subconscious. It deals with Pisces. It can make you psychic. It deals with your dreams. But he's at 0 degrees in 19. Now, 19 tends to be an alien number. I did a video on that where I really went into the number 19. If you're interested, what I'm trying to tell you, this person he could talk to like foreign stuff, or He's tapped in and stuff. Another reason why I might say he's weird. Like if some people actually told you what they were hearing and stuff inside their head, you probably would stop talking to them. But I'm here to say that you can see it in a natal chart. This stuff does go on. See, sometimes holding it all in is our biggest, the worst thing you can do. That's why I tend to talk about everything. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Fuck you. I'm still gonna be me. But I get it out. If I held it all in, I know they would be taking me to a crazy house, or I'd be locked up because it would finally come out. All right. So let me see. I'm gonna try to find a video. Mayan Prophecy 2017, seen a natal chart, and that was about a woman. She had 19, and I kind of told her what 19 meant. So when you see Scorpio and 19 and all that, these people are usually they're tapped in even fallen angels, extraterrestrial, just weird shit that we don't understand. And a lot of times that's what happens in loners. Like if you come from a dysfunctional family, you don't really have the love of your family, so you might spend out more time alone, time in your room, or you got a parent that's either beating the shit out of you or criticizing you, and you don't want to be around them, so you're hiding out in your room. But then you're by yourself, and that gives these spirits plenty of time to start talking to you in your dreams and stuff. And they dwell in negative energy. That's why you can't get negative energy. So that's why I tell people, if God does throw you in the deep, see, if you read Psalms 23, David was in the deep, but he didn't result negatively. And Jesus was tempted of the devil in Matthew 4, but he didn't result negatively. You got to realize, you got to think positive. And the more you know God, the more you have nothing to worry about, no matter where he throws you. And you'll get so crazy, you'll be like, fuck it, do it. Throw me. I don't care. Just like Jonah, I'm not lying. Think of the Bible. Jonah said, throw me in the deep. Go ahead, throw me. And they did. Just read your Bible, King James Version, Jonah chapter 1 and 2. He told, throw me in the deep. And they did, because you stopped being scared. And you don't give a fuck, because you done seen so much, because I've been here for a long time. I've been doing this for a long time. You just don't really, you're not scared. You don't really care no more, because that's the way it is on this planet. You didn't come here to have happiness in paradise if you think. You're crazy. That's why it's so hard to get happiness in paradise. And usually, the only people that tend to get it are the people that sell their soul to the devil, and they have it for a little bit, but then he fucks them over too. So most of these people, a lot of these people you look up to, a lot of these people have had people murdered. They do all kind of stuff. A lot of those people are child molesters. Not only child molesters, but child kidnappers, and worse than that. I'm just not going to go into it. I'm not saying every one of them, but a lot more than what you would think. The only happy pictures you see are painted. Do you understand? That's a perception. But if you was with around these people 24 hours a day, you wouldn't want to be around these people if you knew what they really were like and who they really are. And the more you know that, you make wiser decisions. So his 11th house is all about friends, associations, and groups, but it's Scorpio. So right now I'm just going to say Scorpio is the unknown. Now when we get to the 8th house, I'll go deeper into what Scorpio is. But Scorpio is the unknown and all kind of animalistic primordial stuff and unknown, esoteric secrets and forbidden knowledge and hidden knowledge. And you keep naming it, it keeps coming up. Back taxes, debt, sex. I've almost went into the whole thing now, but I'll do it better. I'll stop there. But you got the idea with his 11th house. So those are the type of people he's going to be around. And these can be gangsters and thugs and stuff like that. Like I said, I just got finished doing a chart to something like this one. But that's where he's making his money. But now, because of the stuff he's been through, Neptune makes him kind of a realist. If it was just Neptune, it would be a direct Neptune, no aura. And that means he would be idealistic. But see, he has a Scorpio. He has a Scorpio Pisces connection through Neptune. So he's going to be psychic too. He's going to be very psychic. And sometimes you have people that don't realize they're psychic. This is why a lot of like drug dealers and gangsters, they rely on tarot cards and psychics and putting curses on people and stuff. This is why, because they're coming out the 8th house and all that stuff. Anything that's going to take you down to the basics of animalism is the 8th house. And drugs and addictions and all that stuff is going to be the 8th house. That's why if you really walk through a bar, a lot of bars remind you of walking through a church. They're hollow inside. Why are they hollow? Because they're representing the divine womb. The divine womb is the 8th house. That's why when you read Revelation chapter 9 about the bottomless pit, you see the scorpion. They talk about the Scorpio. Why? Because Scorpio rules the 8th house. And Pluto rules Scorpio, and Pluto's considered the underworld. That's why they call the mobs and the gangsters and all that. That's the underworld. Why? Because they're coming out the 8th house, and the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and that's what's in his 11th house. So these are the type of people he's going to be around and make a lot of money from. That's where his money's coming from that. But he's a realist because Neptune is retrograde. So that explains his 11th house. And when we get to Scorpio, the 8th house ruled by Scorpio, we'll learn more about his 11th house. But now, Sagittarius in the 12th house. Okay, this is really about the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So again, so he can help out spiritual people or church people. Because Sagittarius can be a healer, but it's also about education. He may have helped out people educational wise. It's about travel. And when you got Neptune and Sagittarius, this is people that can astral plane, telepathy. And Neptune retrograde can also mean past life remembrance. And so you got travel, culture, language, study, philosophy, religion. So those two houses he's probably going to be making money off of. And he's the second person I've seen with a connection between Jupiter and Neptune. See, I tell you, all this stuff happens in patterns. A lot of times you think you're running late, but you're right on time with the universe. Because I just did another chart that was a lot like this one with Neptune and so that is where he's making his money in groups and things like teaching people culture and all that kind of stuff. And these type of people, if they knew better, they could fine tune their psychic abilities, and that'll help them in life as well and financially. So I tried to find it last time. I'm going to try it now. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but we're going to try to do Neptune conjunct. I'm just going to try this just to see what happens. Neptune retrograde, Jupiter. This website is called Find Your Fate. That's crazy. All the planets in the solar system move around the sun, as also the Earth. But from the earthly perspective, it seems as if the Earth is not moving and all the planets are moving around the Earth with it as its center. This is just an optical illusion. Hence, the planets appear to stop, go backwards, referred to as retrograde. Stop, and again go forward, called direct motion. When the planets are in retrograde, it's best to avoid new ventures and stick to a routine job. Stick to routine job. Find below the different planet retrograde details for the year 2017. Well, that's not what I'm really looking for. They shouldn't call this thing Find Your Faith. Fate if they're not really going to talk about Find Your Fate. Right, give me this. Well, yeah, they do. They got pet astrology, diet astrology, religion astrology. This is crazy. Let me try. Why do they have so much? All right, never mind. Personals. They even you can come here for personals. Astrology links, astrology resources, social media, tell a friend, ask an astrologer. But it tells you paid. They're letting you know you have to pay. All right, we're going to personals first. Let's see what they got. All right, I'm gonna try it again. Personals. Wait a minute. Let me see. Does this thing drop down? It does. Personals drop singles, dating single, modeling, matrimonial, gemstones, e-cards. Give me a second. Now it's gonna take. Just give me a second. I want to see what this shit does. World leaders in astrology now into matchmaking. Know your sun sign, my sign, my compatible. Alright, my profile is members directory, trade directory, astrology membership. This shit is making me laugh. You got people on here too. Got a guy from Nigeria. They got a guy from United Kingdom. Again, the place it is, it's called findyourfaith.com, but then you got to hit on something else. All right, I'm gonna do this really quick. I'm gonna use it. Okay, this female. They got females too. Lillian, big black girl, but she looking good though. She a big black girl. Lillian, 30 years, Aries, USA. Sandra Joby, 30 years, Gambia. She's cute. Lena, Malaysia. She's cute. Rejoice Baby, 33, Pisces, USA. I'm looking for a nice Manny. Looking for a nice Manny. Looking for a nice Manny. That's what she kept saying. Oh, this shit is crazy, man. What the fuck did I bounce into? All right, I'm going to show you this picture of her. She said, I'm looking for a nice Manny. Looking for a nice Manny. Looking for a nice Manny and shit. All right, I'm not going to show you everybody. We'll be out here forever. All right. Alright, so to go further, they want you to log in and shit. Alright, I'm getting out of here. So now I want to go back because I did want to. I wasn't not looking at that page. Kids astrology, pets astrology. So this is called findyourfaith.com. You might want to come here if you got questions about anything, your kids, animals, and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm going to do the daily horoscope. Come on, man. Fuck. June 22. Come on, bro. This says www.findyourrate.com offers free daily horoscopes, which are in-depth and accurate to the core. It's a good way to start your day off with your daily horoscopes. It gets you well equipped for the day ahead. Get the daily prediction for all the zodiac signs for all the days all through the year. The daily horoscopes are based on the daily planetary positions. Our daily horoscopes are packed with powerful information that help you to plan a better day. Get going for today's horoscope for Thursday, June 22nd. Select your zodiac sign and get your daily horoscope absolutely free. Leo. Is that Leo? When your heart knows best, arguing with it is a waste of time. Follow your feelings. Wherever they... I had to press the more button. Wherever they lead. There's something wonderfully natural about this, like water flowing downhill or the sun moving in its predictable path across the sky. You have a special touch, turning everything into warmth and love. Anyone who recognizes this treats you royally, and everyone else at least treats you with respect. You got that right, bitch. Enjoy your situation while it lasts, because nothing in nature is permanent. People will certainly remember how you were today, and that memory might make it possible for you to come back here again. Are you telling me you're thinking about kicking me off your website? I'm offended. All right. Horoscope forecast today for Leo. Happiness, normal. Power days for Leo, June 22nd. Moon forms a positive aspect to your Leo sign. Leo daily horoscope, Leo weekly, Leo monthly, Leo yearly, Leo good day calendar. All about Leo traits and characteristics. Want your horoscope directly sent to your email? Why not? Don't worry, I'm almost done. Sometimes you gotta take a break. But I like us sharing the power as well. The energy. I want to check my spam real quick just to check it. 3 spam. Support. They already hit me up. I didn't come here to check it out. They already sent me their with your face. Because sometimes everything goes to the spam, but that wasn't why I was checking it. I was trying to get rid of it so that when it does come, it would be clear. Alright. But they already got me off, so let me activate this link. They created an account for me and gave me a password. I didn't ask for all that shit. But that's pretty cool. Alright, we say not spam. That was pretty cool. Alright, it's all good. Alright, but we were trying to find something between Neptune and Neptune retrograde, Jupiter. So let's do Neptune conjunct Jupiter. This one's called astromatrix.com. Come on, come on, come on. What's taking forever? Well, I hate this. They're a pain in the ass. Jupiter conjunct Neptune. Okay, here we go. It's hard to. I can't explain it to you, but thank you for signing up. You will read daily. If you're ready, allow dialogues from to take you to their tab. Nah, I don't think I want to do that. All right, get out of here. Goodbye. All right, let me find another one. All right, this one sounds good. This is Cafe, because Cafe Astrology. I'm not looking for somebody who wants to go all deep into it, because it's not that this particular situation is not that deep. All right, like these people, everybody I'm going to is making the situation really is not that deep. I'm trying. This is called astrology-x-files.com. Transcending Neptune conjunct your natal Jupiter. You may seek a more spiritual experience, but the danger is that you will lose sight of reality. But see, that's why they made his Neptune. They made his Neptune retrograde, so he's not gonna be deceived. He won't lose sight of reality. You may not see things as they really are, but you will want them to be. At the same time, you are very sensitive to others' needs, and that's why they have his 11th house connected to his 12th house. Others may sense this and try to take advantage of you by appealing to your ideals. And that's why ideals is Neptune direct, but his is Neptune retrograde. Your approach to matters of faith is likely to be more unorthodox at this time. Interest in metaphysical or occult subjects increase. That's right, because he's got Scorpio right there. Because rational explanations do not seem adequate for what you have to deal with. I already told you that. If your moms and dad or your family are not close to you, they're treating you like shit, and you're little, and you need that nurturing and that love, then you're going to be in your room a lot. You're going to be talking to yourself a lot. And then this is how the spirits get in. See, if y'all watch me, that's why I stay on my spiritual channel and shit like that. I already know the game. You could go crazy. You could go crazy. Because, like, I'm not from this planet, dog. Anybody that knows me knows that. That's just common sense, the shit I'm able to do. It's obviously I'm not from this planet. But what happened with Joseph? Joseph tried to tell his brothers the same thing. Hey, listen, I'm talking to the stars and the moon and the sun, and they got mad and tried to kill his ass. How dare? Who do you think you're better than us? We'll kill you. But that's third dimensional mentality. How dare you say that? Everybody wants to kill you or duke it out down here. Everybody's a tough guy. So that type of person spends more time with themselves, talking to themselves. And if you're not careful, you can come under the influence of entities. So you have to be real careful. But I stay preaching. I stay in the Word of God. I stay in prayer. I stay praying for other people. That's what I do on the spiritual channel. So that's where I get my balance from, for not going crazy. And I'm always in contact with where I came from. Whereas a lot of these people, they came out here and they forgot, and they're kind of, they disassociated themselves. They think third dimension, but third dimensional didn't disassociate yourself. You came down here and got pissed the fuck off and either went into your own little cubby hole or you started getting high or whatever. You cut off from where you came from. That's not their fault. That's like Superman coming down here and forgetting about where he came from. What was that, Krypton or some shit like that? You don't forget where you come from. That's why you gotta learn to listen to your gut instinct and fuck all this other shit. Because all this other shit is in the matrix. It's a lie. You gotta learn to listen to your gut instinct. So now it says, so they keep calling Jupiter the Lord. Again, this is astrology -x-files plural.com. Astrology -x-files.com. And they call Jupiter the Lord. So they say, if Jupiter the Lord is in your 11th house, you may lose contact with friends, expectation, and financial gains. This is the side of acquisition, may be unrealistic. So you can read his 11th house and his 12th house, because we already said he may. Remember, we did his second house, and they said he may have money problems with his friends. They said that in his second house, but they said may. But the retrogrades are saying, this is what I'm getting. Like he's not a pushover. He's got a lot of good traits, but he's not a pushover. So he may lose money, but that may also mean that you know, he ain't playing games with the money. And cause see, I'm taking both of them. See, I'm taking a Mars retrograde in Aquarius, but I'm also taking a Neptune retrograde. So when I see something like that, from what I'm seeing, no, he's about the money. And he may be a nice guy here or there, and he may help kids, and he may help school people and shit like that. But he can fuck you up. Like if his Neptune was direct, then I would say, yeah, he's a sucker. Like, people can come up to this guy and get money. And some people may still be able to. But I think because Neptune is retrograde, if I'm saying if all these placements are right, because maybe his Neptune isn't retrograde, I don't know. Maybe he is a sucker for money. I don't know. But what I'm seeing from my reading is that no. Like, people that deal with him know it's a money thing. And he's a realist, and you're not gonna be ripping him off. And in some cases, like in Aquarian cases, he may lose money. You understand what I'm saying? An Aquarian, like, help the people, because you can see in his 12th, he does want to help. So maybe in cases like that, he's somewhat of a sucker for money. And even your 5th house showed that he likes to help the kids and stuff. But that 11th house with Scorpio there, no, you're dealing with dark side, dark individuals, addicts, addiction, anything like that. You could be dealing with people affiliated. All kind of stuff comes out of that 11th house. And Neptune's right there to say, oh no, you will pay that money. Because you notice Jupiter's not direct. I mean, you notice that Jupiter's not retrograde. So he ain't losing shit. Not in that 11th house and 12th house. He might lose a little money in the second house, maybe. But that's for Aquarius reasons. But up in that 11th and 12th house, then people better pay up. So he's not a pushover. A lot of times a man will rough up a female and you think he's soft. But he's not soft. He's crazy. He'll smack a dude around the same way. I don't know. I know like I know some people. Like my father was I seen a few men step to my father. He ain't do shit. But he would come home and beat the shit out of wife and kids and shit. So he was a bitch ass. He was a bitch made nigga. I busted his nose. I was just a little kid. And me and him was boxing. I busted that nigga's nose and shit. And then when I got big, like 13, I said, for everything you did to this family, I'm gonna get you back and shit. And then he beat me up again. Then my younger sister was instigating. She was a liar and she was always instigating problems and shit. So so he tried to hit me for some lies she told, because he was always beating me up for shit. She lied. She knew I was gonna get brutally beat up. She still lied and did it anyway. So these some crazy ass people. And then she get mad to me. Don't be talking about me. Why you think? How am I not gonna talk about you and shit? So so he tried to beat me up one last time when I was a teenager, and he threw a blow and I caught it. He threw a blow with his right hand. I caught his right hand with my left hand and just looked at him. And then he threw a blow with the left hand. I caught that hand with my right hand and looked at him. And then he just walked away. That was my way of saying, you will never put your hands on me or anybody else in this house again. And I didn't have to say it with my mouth because I'd already told him. I'm a real live nigga, and I've always been that way my whole fucking life. And I don't give a fuck what nobody think of, I don't fuck around. Don't fuck with me. I'm not a kid. I'm nothing to fuck with. I'm not playing. Seriously. Niggas gotta understand that. I'm not here for games. I didn't come to planet Earth for games. I come from an elite military force. We came out here to help. We're not here to be disrespected. And then another time he was talking crazy. So he came in the room. This is before that was the last time he ever tried to get physical with me, because he knew he couldn't do it no more. And he tried to get crazy again. And another time before that. So he came to beat me up again. I pulled the butcher knife and just looked at him, because I don't do a lot of talking. And then he looked at me again. So then he went back in his bedroom. My mother was in there. And he was saying, he was trying to tell my mother some shit, and she was basically laying there, but he was doing all the talking. But I show you, this is when I became psychotic. I don't know how I did it. This is when I became psychotic. So I was just sitting out by his window, and he was talking shit about me. And I let him say everything he had to say. And I forget what I whispered to that nigga. But I whispered some shit through the window, and he heard me. I wanted him to hear me, but it was nice and low. To let that nigga know things have changed. You could die in your sleep, bitch. Try to put your hands on me or somebody else in this house. You won't live to see tomorrow, bitch. And I'm still going to get you anyway. But it's going to be when I say so, not when you say so. Now, people say, oh, that sounds crazy. Yeah, but you wasn't there taking them ass whippings. I was. You understand? You talking shit, but you wasn't there taking those beatdowns. I was. I'm a hero, bitch. That's what you don't understand. I'm a hero. Say it one more time before we move on. I'm from an elite family that's not from planet Earth, and I'm from an elite military that's not from planet Earth. We came down here to help. So people should be saying thank you. And for the people that recognize that, God bless you. But we don't play games with the fools and the idiots. If you want to stay in third dimensional, then go somewhere else. I'm trying to help people to trying to find out why they are the way they are and trying to get out of third dimensional. Or they're trying to find out what's going on in their life. That's my obligation to help them. I'm not obligated to help anybody else, and I won't. Because I don't have time to waste on idiots. Life is too short. So why did I bring all that up? Because that's the kind of shit you see in the house of Scorpio. And I'm trying to tell you about this gentleman, why he may have a crazy side. But it's not fully his fault if he got some bullshit from his family, which is what his chart is trying to indicate. Now, it is your fault if you beat somebody up and all that. But I'm saying what made him crazy, that was some shit out of his control. And you believe some of these people that get natal charts and stuff like that, they will realize it and start to get help. Some people think they're watching TV. Some people are not strong enough to deal with the truth. But some people do deal with the truth. Like I said, my job is to keep bringing it to those who really want to have it. So now, we did his 11th house, 12th house, 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house, 4th house, 5th house. When we come back, we will do his 6th to the 10th house, and we'll probably bring this to a conclusion. I'm not sure yet. God bless. All right, we're going to continue, but it is now 12:17 p.m., June 22nd, 2017. We're almost done with this review of this gentleman's natal chart. It was funny, I stepped over to Paul Bagley real quick. I haven't listened to Paul Bagley that long. I haven't listened to him in a while. But he started off his show, because his show starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he started off with his show, and he said he was about to do a video about an Australian lady, which made me laugh because the person I requested this is an Australian woman. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. It could just be a strange coincidence, but it was kind of funny that he said that. So I thought I'd mention it. Plus the fact that I haven't listened to him in a long time. All right. I will be making a little statement when I'm done with this chart. Um, but I'm going to save it till then because we're almost finished. All right, so let's see where we're at. Okay, we're going into his 6th house now. It's ruled by Virgo, and it's all about healing. But there goes a vertex cross. So it's telling you that in this house, Gemini is in his 6th house. Gemini is all about communications, mental thought. Excuse me for a moment. All right, we'll continue. Again, all about healing. 13. Gemini deals with the 3rd house, children, siblings, younger education, creativity, thought, communication. So this is healing in all those areas. Now, the vertex cross means it's going to be a significant meeting or a significant event in this house. That's a vertex cross. So I'll quickly look at the other chart just to see if there's anything. They both have a Gemini-Saturn connection. And her Gemini is in the 3rd house. It's funny because with her chart, you see that 1111, but her chart is a perfect sync. Like her Aries really is in Aries, because Aries is the 1st house, and her Aries is an Aries. So again, he had a significant point with Leo, and then you see her with Leo with Vesta right there, and then he has a significant point with Gemini and Saturn, and then you see Saturn and Gemini. That could mean that she was supposed to be from the universe there to heal. See, I'm going to tell you the truth, and this applies to everybody. When you look on your natal chart, it's showing you the way things were supposed to be as designed by the universe. But people get into 3rd dimensional, and this is hell down here, and they just caught up. They get caught up in trials or temptation or something, but they're nowhere near where they should be on their natal chart. And even if they start to awaken and find out, it's still a lot of stuff to go through. Like in my case, that person was already laid up with a guy dropping all his babies and stuff like that. So in that sense, it probably was difficult for her. But what I try to tell you guys is this: she knew 2.5 years in advance, but she still chose to be an a-hole. Because if you're having dreams about somebody and things are showing a certain way, work through it instead of, oh, they didn't respond the way I want them to, so now I'm going to do this. So you make this situation far worse than it already was. And I was talking to her the whole time. So she could have tried listening and trying to make it work instead of just being quiet and starting a war, having all this energy for war and no energy for unity. So that's how that happened. So that's 3rd dimensional. So you can see the beauty in natal charts. You can see the beauty in all wonderful messages from the universe, the numerology, synchronicities, and everything. But when you're dealing with people that are just too 3rd dimensional, too scared, too afraid, too angry, not willing to even talk about their pain, such as we're finding out that this gentleman would have trouble talking about his pain, then that's what you're going to get. And me, I don't know what to tell people. Like, I don't know what people be looking for. I think a lot of people just, they want answers, but they really don't want answers. It's kind of like that Tom Cruise movie. You can't handle the truth. And it's not really that difficult. It's that a person has to make a conscientious decision. They're going to do something about it. Just like people to get Alcoholic Anonymous, not whatever. I just woke up, so you got to forgive me. Alcoholic Anonymous. They just don't, they don't really want to. They're so addicted that it's just, even like when people get their heart gets involved with something and they can't see logically. They just want to follow what their heart tells them, and they don't have the discipline to change. So they go down that road of destruction, or self-destruction. So it's nothing I can do for people but tell them the truth, and then they have to be an adult and deal with it, whatever that is. That's why I said I'm gonna make an announcement at the end of this video. But you know what I'm saying? And I realize that. Because I'm here because I know how to say no. Like, I don't. You put your hands on me, you're gonna have a problem. I'm not like somebody say, fool me once, shame on me. Hit me once, shame on you. And hit me twice, shame on you. Some crazy shit. But bottom line, people are here, and it's like a big soup bowl. And I'm talking about people in general, because a lot of people think just because I'm doing their chart, I'm talking about them. I'm not talking about them. If I was, I would say it. I'm talking about people in general on third dimensional planet Earth. They seem like a cesspool of bullshit, a cesspool of just crazy shit. And that's the one thing I learned coming here. Like, the negative energy that we call Satan from a Christian viewpoint is very powerful, but it's not all powerful. But most people just sell out. They have no stamina. They have no stamina to realize that nothing's more powerful than God. So both of these people are Leos. So even if I die today, and I've been saying that a lot lately, if I was to die now, I think all the people before me that are dead, and it's not because of old age. Most of these people are still like relatively young. Like the dude I call C Mac, he was actually 10 years younger than me, and he's dead. But 50 Cent has a song where he raps about I'm alive for a reason, you know. But me personally, I know God kept me, but at the same time, a lot of times I didn't do a whole lot of like stupid shit. Like I knew when to say hell no. Hell no. You won't put your hands on me no more. Hell no. Why would I go into the midst of people that are trying to kill me? Just like Joseph. He went into the midst of people, his own brothers, and they really was going to put him to death. But one brother said, no, don't kill him. Let's just sell him. And they sold him off into what ended up slavery. And I did a natal chart for a woman who had to get a restraining order against her entire family. She literally had to get a restraining order against her entire family. But she went on to be very successful. And even though she had a lot of problems, she was still willing to learn what her purpose was in the universe. Because she could have said, fuck this, I'm getting paid, I got good money. I don't need to know that crap. But she still was brave enough to look at it. So I understand how people might feel. But once you start to get an awareness of what's really going on in your life, you have to make some mature decisions, whatever they might be. That's why I said I'll talk more about it at the end. of this video. But you have to start to make some mature decisions. And you have to remember, it's your life. See, I can tell you what's going on and stuff like that to a certain degree, but that's not too much more I can do from that. Because we all got our own issues. I got my own issues. And just like when we are addicted and stuff, we can find if we're addicted to weed, drugs, we can find that. Just like you can find that, you could also find people to do counsel and people that do understand and will try to help. So you have to be willing to search as well. Like I said, with Alcoholic Anonymous, that person's got to stand up high. My name is so and so, and I'm an alcoholic. Because until they're willing to do that, you don't even want to admit it. You're in denial. So how are you going to get any help? Hi, my name is so and so, and I need some help. Hi, my name is so and so. I come from a fucked up background. You got to start somewhere, but it calls taking responsibility. Because even if you're a victim, you still can stand back up. You don't have to keep blaming the guy that victimized you, the person, and blaming the whole world. You still can stand back up and start a new beginning. Now, will you have to carry your situation? Yeah, but everybody's carrying situations. You're not the only one going through hell. This is hell. Third dimension on planet Earth is really hell. Especially for people that you see on the natal charts that they were actually sent. But they get here and then they get caught up in the bullshit. Whereas they should have just came and did what God told them to do and kept it moving. And that's what Joseph had to do. See, God took Joseph away from his family. If God would have left Joseph with his family, they would have killed him, his own family. So God had to take him away from his family so that he could fulfill his mission. And when the time was right, God brought the family back together. Sometimes you just have to trust God more. All right, if you notice that his true north node he has 14, and at his part of fortune he has 14. So we're going to look at Bill Hydrick and look at that number. Give me a moment. It takes a moment for his page to load. Now, to go softly, slowly, to look out for hope, to join, to penetrate, to stick in, buckthorn, boyas, to tread, despise, despised, prey, booty, cavern of the defiled, to be curved, arch, body, ridge, back, lifting up, pride, person, a depression, valley, hollow, body, person, a people, troop, swarms, to sacrifice, a sacrifice, to boil, to warm or move the heart, to love, an object of love, a beloved, a friend, uncle, nephew. It even says David, beloved, boiler, pot, kettle, basket. Now again, so you know where I'm at? It's BillHeidrick.com, BillHeidrick.com. Or you could put in Bill Heidrick. and put in Hebrew Gematria 14. So if you want to see this, so you know that I'm reading exactly what this man wrote, Bill Hydrick, space, Hebrew, space, Gematria, space, 14. And then you should get a link from your search engine. I'm using Yahoo search. Take you to the number 14, where he actually gives the name. Then he says want, need, sufficiency, enough, who, which, that, aha, gift offering, to stretch out, to point, lead, to shine, glitter, to be bright yellow, gold, shekels, gold light, brilliance, oil. Then it says again locust, that's that swarm, to turn about, move in a circle, dance, to reel, to celebrate a festival or holiday, to shout afar or aloud. The hand, the letter, yod, power, force, help, slap or stroke. The side, the prank, space, place, monumental, pillar. And that's number 14. Now I'm going to go to my website, prophecylastdays.webs.com. Give me a moment. All right. All right, natal chart astrology, which is also natal chart numerology. I'm on my site, number 14. The souls working in matter to unify. Spirit and matter working together in harmony. The struggle that the twins are going to go through before they unify. All right. First thing we're going to look at is Gemini in the 6th house. This is astrologyclub.org. Your everyday activities. Now, when it says work, it's not talking about your career, but any daily work you do is what it's talking about. Work, service. Focus on obtaining information and exchanging ideas and thoughts with others. Your physical abilities and ability may be an important element of your everyday life activities. It's likely that you do a lot in your day, and most of it make the practical day-to-day details of your life move along smoothly. Yet nothing is ever as well organized or as in good of a state of well-being as you would like it to be, and you may find you have great difficulty in learning the activities and challenges of the day behind you and leaving the activities and the challenges of the day behind you, and you want to fix it all. You are most likely to keep busy attending to the healing and wellness of others rather than your own. So everywhere we go, this person, he's trying his best. A lot of time when a person is hurt, that's what they do. They try to help other people because they're thinking if they help other people, they'll get the love they're missing, but that doesn't always work out, and then that makes them more frustrated. For this reason, take care not to run yourself into the ground in the name of service. So they may bring knowledge to the public or to the community, and that goes back to that Aquarius that we talked about. So then they went on to say, in bringing that knowledge, they say mankind is bound by chains of his own forging. He does not understand why he is here. Well, you would if you had your natal chart. Where he came from, you'd have a pretty good idea if you had your natal chart. What he should be doing, it's all on your natal chart. Where he should be going, all on your natal chart. So then it said it's only through knowledge that mankind can find the answers to these questions. And they say that's what Gemini in the 6th house may help bring that type of knowledge. And of all the signs of the zodiac, Gemini can bring basic knowledge, the knowledge and the wherewithal of life itself, so that man can cope with life, can understand why he is here. Because Gemini is significant in my natal chart too. Why he is here, where he is, can learn to accept whatever comes into his life, function with it, and thus be in control. And for right now, I've been doing that. But that's all because of the knowledge of the zodiac, the natal chart, just like this is saying. Astrologyclub.org is where I'm at, Gemini in the 6th house. We cannot change circumstances in life, but we can certainly change the manner in which we function in them. And I'm adding this, you can also change how you respond to it. This is achieved through knowledge. There are other ways of learning to cope with life, but with Gemini, it is a knowledge of self in which Gemini can be of the greatest service through teaching. Now, I'll start right here. So, see, right there showing you the vertex cross and the number 14, because it may be knowledge that helps this man get the help he needs. That's why I said, don't just get your natal chart and listen to it. Somehow make sure that other person hears it too, or the twin. I don't care if they throw fits. I had one guy go fucking crazy. But yet I watched his twin grow. She even started her own YouTube channel. Because she kind of, for a while, she got past that I'm a victim stage. You got to get past it sooner or later. You can't sit there your whole life and be a victim. All of us have been through hell. That's why I don't really show a whole lot of sympathy to somebody got smacked or smacked you around. I was beat up too. I was beat within inches of my life. What am I going to do? Sit here and just, oh, I was beat. Oh, I got beat up. Oh, he threw me into a table. Oh, he threw a hammer at me. Oh. At some point, you got to get up and realize life is going to go on. Try to make wiser decisions and be safe. And I'm going to say it over and over again. If you were walking past a store that said, come on in, free ice cream, all the ice cream you can eat, come on in, and you love ice cream, of course you're going to go in that store. So if somebody's walking around and they got their body parts all out of their clothes and all kind of shit, of course you're advertising sex. What do you think's going to happen? Let's hope A weirdo or somebody that doesn't have any self-control doesn't come for you. But these are games people play, and then when they finally pay for it, oh, they want to be the victim. Now they want to see, oh, I want to see people go to jail. I want the whole world to know this happened to me and blah, blah, blah. But let's look at what led up to that. So once you really start to hold yourself accountable and you start to use your natal chart and get into deeper levels of spirituality, you won't be so quick to do things that could put you in harm's way. It's all about knowledge. That's what Gemini is all about. What? Thought. And I told you that twin flames cannot unite until they get into the Gemini sector. Communication, compromise, commitment. This is all coming from Gemini. Mercury is communication. Thought. Scorpio, the 8th house, that's all about sex. And people think sex is going to solve the problem, but it usually doesn't. It might make you feel good, but it solves the problem. And if you're not careful, that's also about obsession and possession. Because the sex can get so good that you see that person as an object. That's my piece of ass. And then you're jealous of every person they talk to and everything because you're worrying somebody's going to get what you feel belongs to you. But that's totally Scorpion, 8th house. But you got to learn how to bring that out to Gemini, which is more about community, which we're learning right now. Commitment. Anything with a COM, communication, that's all Gemini. And even Aquarius can help out sometimes with twins becoming together. But this is going to be a path, and the only way you can get on it is to realize that, wow, I'm far away from my life purpose according to my zodiac sign. And humble yourself. And a lot of people are not going to do that. You have people that think they're supposed to get something first. Oh, well, when this person treats me like this, then I'll do it. But even if the person's trying to talk to you, you're being an asshole. So until you grow up, ain't shit happening. And if that person's smart, they won't have shit to do with you. Because all you're going to do is cause problems. And that's how my twin is. And again, that's why God took Joseph away from his family, because they were crazy. They were murderers. Hypocrites and murderers. And that's why I'm still alive, because I tell the truth. If the we just got finished saying the word kettle in number 14. If the kettle is black or whatever, I'm going to call it what it is. So they said learning how to change the manner in which you function with circumstances in life can be achieved through knowledge. There are other ways of learning to cope with life, but with Gemini, it is a knowledge of life itself in which Gemini can be of the greatest service through teaching. But now it also could be a lower Gemini, one whose vibrations aren't so high. On a lower octave, Gemini could easily reject or not be able to align himself with social twin trends or public needs. Gemini generally tends to have a philosophy to live and let live, not to be involved. Let each person solve their own problems. It's not that this 6th house implies that service rendered is in solving people's problems, but rather in giving the tools whereby mankind can solve their own problems. And again, they have to learn to solve their own problems because you're going to sink. That's what happened with Jesus Christ. He came, and you saw what they did to him. He actually said, how long do I have to dwell with you people? Because he knew. It's only when people really realize, wow, I'm fucked up, I got to do something about it. That's when the change is going to occur. You can give them, like I said, you can take the horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. The horse got to want to drink. And you'll frustrate your whole life trying to help somebody that's not ready. But as long as they have the information, when they become ready, the information will still be there. That's why I do lengthy natal charts. Because 5 years from now, somebody might really look at it and really get it. But right now, they're going to be like, damn, what's he talking about? And blah, 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 blah. Wow, this is way too long and blah, blah. They're talking all that punk, third-dimensional shit. But then a year or two go by, maybe they go through some more drama, they finally grow the fuck up, and then they look at their natal chart like, wow, I'm so far from where I need to be. Now they really want to make change. You're like alcoholic. I know people that were alcoholics for a long time until like a grandchild came along or something. And then he's laying on the couch with a hangover and fucked up. And the grandchild goes, Daddy, what's wrong? Granddaddy, what's wrong, Granddaddy? And then he feels bad and shit. And then he finally does something about it. See, I'm not going to play games. Like, get your shit together. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do? My job is to show you what's up and then keep it moving. I got my own life, my own problems. You have to want to get your life together. I can't help you with that shit. And the fact that you would call somebody and think they're going to help you with your life is kind of sad. You should want to help your own life. You should get up and make a phone call. You get up, like if you smoke weed, you get up to get that weed. If you like having sex, you get up to smoke that sex. Anything you like to do, you get up and get it done somehow. But then when it's something you need to do, you think somebody else is supposed to do it. No, 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 no. I'm already around a whole lot of people that act like that. I don't do this for that reason. I do this to provide knowledge for people who really want it. Now, whether you use it now or use it later, that's totally up to you. All right. So now we got the theme of Gemini in the 6th house. Using them Gemini skills to heal. And it'll be this house that'll help him with his healing. And it may possibly be a twin flame healing, based on what we've been seeing throughout the chart. Now, Saturn in the 6th house. Let's see if we can get that, but that's really going to be about standards and rules. This is my astrologybook.com, Saturn in the 6th house. And it's in 3D. Saturn in the 6th house, like the sign Virgo, represents the last personal stage in development. Now, the reason why it's important that you know astrology, because on September 23rd, 2017, there's going to be a big event with Virgo. You can check it out online. It is on my website, Real Life and Metaphysics. It's letting you know that it's the last personal stage in development. The last stage. Keep in mind. And this gentleman says it is a critical stage. The self-adjustment we undergo here determines our ability to relate to others on an equal footing. 7th house. So they're saying again, your 6th house, his 6th house is preparing him for the 7th house. And I keep telling you, this is a twin flame stuff. And by a success or failure, it unites you with or will separate you from others. So that's why, again, if you're dealing with somebody who's abusive, the first thing you have to do is protect you and yours. And that's the main thing to protect. But a lot of people want to get back and get even. Sometimes you need to let the universe deal with that. Because this person's going through shit. Like, we got to go back to the basis. See, this is part of the announcement I want to make. You can't really blame this dude if he has some horrible family shit. You don't know what happened to him, but it's quite obviously this dude had some horrible family shit that fucked him up. And to go deeper than that, if you understand metaphysicals, this is all part of God's purpose. Just like the book of Job. And the part of God's purpose in the book of Job was for God to allow Satan to kill every member of Job's family, except for his wife, to destroy all Job's assets because he was very rich, to take all his riches, take all the animals, kill everything, and burn everything. So in one day, Job lost it all. And that was part of God's purpose. But don't nobody want to talk about that God, even though that is the God in the Bible. So they on some fake phony shit. And that's why when bad things happen, they don't know how to handle it. Because you haven't been reading your Bible. You've been letting some other idiot tell you what's in the Bible. But you should have been reading it. Then you would have been like me. You would have came to the same conclusions that I was taught. The truth. So shit does happen. Which means when shit comes our way, the main thing you have to do is protect yourself and move on. But all that revenge and retaliation is stupid. Because you're actually hurting yourself. Because this is a universal plan of God. Because what they're trying to tell you is his 6th house will be the house where he begins to wake up. He begins to take responsibility for his actions. That's when the healing will begin. And it's Virgo, or the Virgin Mary. That's what she does. The Catholics call out to Mama Mary. Help me, Mother Mary. Hail Mary, full of grace. And when Tupac was talking about getting shot up and dying and shit, who did he call out for? Hail Mary, come with me. So you got to understand the metaphysics. And when you study a lot of these dudes' charts, you always see the mother. Like you saw the moon quick with him. The moon's right there. That's the Divine Mother. It's Archangel Gabriel and the Divine Mother. And that's the moon. So they're working on you. And working on situations. And in his 6th house, that's where it's all going down. This is the house of work and health, or the lack of either. Hygiene, nutrition, service, servants, servitude, daily routine, employment by others, and small animals and pets. Sixth house activities is done out of necessity or in support of other, more self-expressive activities. When our work becomes an end in itself, however, we lose track of its purpose, it becomes pointless, and the result can be physical or psychological illness. The issue with planets in the 6th house is to remember what the purpose of our work is. Where is its joy? Without this knowledge, life isn't worth living. With Saturn in the 6th house, you have a strong work ethic. But even though your job may be burdened with responsibility, you know how to conserve and meet out your energy. So this one's talking a lot about place of work. But usually they say the 6th house is about daily activities, whereas the 10th house is about career. But because this person is so adamant saying, no, 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 this can also be your employment, we're going to read it how he wrote it. You may have difficulties in your place of work due to standing apart, being overly critical, and demanding as much from others as you do from yourself. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes when you go to these places of work, they don't care if you're right or wrong. If you're standing apart, like if you don't fit in with the crowd, you're going to have problems. But if you're really trying to just do you, like if you want to, like, I'm going to give it to you two ways. If you are a Christian, you ain't going to want to be sitting around people talking all that crazy shit that they talk. But if you're also dealing with energy, you may not want to be sitting around them people because those people got all kind of energy on them. And I keep telling you, energy is entities. But because you stand apart, they don't like you. And like they say, overly critical. Sometimes it's not that you're overly critical, but the fact that they notice you never talk to them. Or like at my place, I was able to read the Bible and stuff while I work because I was on the phone. And they don't like that. Oh, who does this person think he is? Oh, those type of people, a bunch of hypocrites anyway. He's probably a weirdo. Blah, blah, blah. So they've been trained by the devil to say shit like that. And unfortunately, sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're right. So you already stand apart. And to them, you're being critical because you're not talking to them. And then you start, it bothers their conscience. Or they want to fuck with you. They want to see what you're made of. Or they're trying to get you fired. Because you're not going to go nowhere and work and people are just going to leave you alone. They're not going to say, hey, you know what? You seem like a nice person. Hey, just read your Bible and we'll leave you alone, okay? Because we know, you're righteous and blah. They're not going to say that. They're going to come at you even more. And you got all kind of like people stalking you. I had a lot of females stalking me and shit. So that's what it is. So that's what he's bringing out in his 6th house. You may have difficulties in your workplace at work. Or really, you're going to have difficulties wherever you go. And when it says you're critical, but he keeps talking about criticizing. So we'll get back to that. The criticizing is, Virgos can be very analytical and very critical. Your critical faculties are harsh and you may have trouble in actually working in employment or anywhere really. Once you turn on your analytical light, because that's Virgo, you can be relentless in your judgments. You may also have trouble assimilating experiences and making them your own. Damn, I never heard that before. They're like saying you take somebody else's experience and make it your own. Or they mean like if you're helping somebody and then you take on their problem. You worry too much over details and need to grow in wisdom with regard to what's worth worrying about and what's not. A well-placed Saturn in your 6th house indicates a hardy constitution, one able to withstand most diseases. An afflicted Saturn here, or Saturn retrograde, however, can denote a propensity towards chronic illnesses. So his Saturn is direct. So he doesn't have to worry about that. The closer a 6th house Saturn is to the 7th house, which is the descendant, the more it will be interpreted as though it were in the 7th house. A 6th house Saturn expresses itself primarily, but in the 7th house, it would express itself entirely. See, Saturn rules Capricorn, which is also employment. So that's another reason why he was talking about employment, because he has Saturn there. Because, like I said, the 6th house is really not about your job. It's really about your daily activities. The career, the 10th house is about your job or career. But since Saturn rules Capricorn, Capricorn rules the 10th house. That's why they're talking about a lot about career. So this guy may have career job problems. Because most people will tell you could be the greatest worker in the world, but if you can't get along with those people, they're not going to want you there. Just the way it is. And it's sad that humans have not grown up. You go to work to work. You don't go to work to find a wife. You don't go to work to date. All that shit you can get somebody's number and handle after work. You go to work to work. So you should be glad a guy's walking through that door that wants to work. But it's not like that always. They actually hate that guy. And then he'll become the fall guy. Like, they'll be the one slacking off, and then the guy that really does the work or whatever, they'll blame him and shit. But don't let it get past. His house is about relationships, the healing of the relationship. And that's why sometimes when you see somebody get locked up, they need to be locked up. That's Saturn. Because that is karma. You punch somebody in the face, you go to jail. Like, but that's how that nigga, that's how that person, excuse me, that's how that person heals. Getting locked up. They learn not to do that shit no more. That's why you gotta let the universe take its course. So that's a significant event. That's the vertex cross. It'll be a significant event that's going to help this individual with his healing. And Saturn, notice how Saturn's right there? Because that's karma coming on this individual. Now, all part of fortune is going to do is amplify Virgo, the 6th house. Highly healthy, critical. In Gemini, all the stuff we said, communicating. All part of fortune is going to do is amplify that. But what you're really worried about in the 6th house is part of fortune conjunct Saturn. So let's look at that. So the good news is saying that this will be his final stage and that the universe is dealing with him. That's why I said you don't have to worry about payback and all that. What you should worry about is growing and find out what the universe has told you to do and protecting yourself and others. And the universe is already working on this individual. And I'm always going to say the best thing you can do is let the person hear the video or refer them to the video or whatever. Even if they usually get angry with me for the most part. Because a lot of people just can't deal with it. They actually get angry. It really makes them angry. So you, of course, use discretion. Part of fortune conjunct Saturn. That's what we're looking for. If Saturn is conjunct a part of fortune, the potency of the positive attributes of Saturn will be enhanced. The person with this conjunction will have a serious approach to life, with a sense of determination to fulfill his destiny and a sense of responsibility to the world. But again, that's all true. But what we're really getting out of this is that it'll be some karma coming from Saturn, some lessons, because it's gonna, with the vertex cross, it's a significant event or a significant meeting. It's gonna be the 6th house. This is gonna rock this guy and make him see life differently. And it could be a health problem, but it's gonna be something from Saturn. That's all I'm telling you. And then look at that. The 7th house is right away family. Then we say that the 6th house leads into the 7th, and there goes Mama. Do you notice how his 6th house is opposite where the moon is? See, this is a special person. I told you, you see anybody with a unique Capricorn Cancer arrangement on their chart, this is a unique person. And that's why I say when you really get metaphysical, people try to get mad at me. You can't get mad at me. I never lied to you. I never took advantage. Why are you mad at me? You're mad at me because I'm telling you the truth and you don't want to hear the truth. But I'm not going to stop doing what I was sent to do. And that's how people begin to change. The truth ain't going to change. You have to change. Right away, this is a special, and that's why it's so hard. His life is so tough because he was sent. And I keep trying to tell you, all these people that were sent, from the moment they get here, they got a foot up their ass. A lot of it is trouble being born, trouble, whatever you call it, trouble in the womb, being born, heart trouble, health trouble, dysfunctional family, mom or dad treat them like shit or beating the shit of them. They don't get along with their own siblings and shit. That's what Gemini is all about, your siblings. This shit is hell. Go outside, somebody punch him in the face. I remember I was just a little kid. I was riding my bike down the highway. And I was going down the highway. And a car was coming up. Some racist white boy painting. A carpenter or something. A painter. And he threw the rag at me and shit. And that rag hit me dead in my face. And it was white paint. Now, if you're a racist, you think that shit's funny. Ah, black guy with white paint in his face. Ah, look at Amos and shit. But if you think about the psychological shit to a kid, and if you're a racist, let me change it around. Okay, a little white boy minding his own business, and a car full of black people come by and just throw some black paint on him, or some black tar on him. Now you understand how I felt and shit, you fucking racist. But that's what it is. So these people have had it rough their whole fucking life. What do you know about being in a store? You're just a little kid in the store, and you're just looking at some shit. And you go outside the store and sit on your bike, and a dude kicks the door wide open and hauls you back into a back room and is accusing you of taking shit, and you didn't take nothing. And he says, what do you got in your pocket? I saw what you did. You said, this goes to my bike. It's on my bike. This is part of my bike. It fell off. I had it in my pocket. And then he tells you, don't put your hands in your pocket when you're in the store. Now, really, that's racist. That's racist, okay? Because that's why pockets are made. You can put your hands in your pocket. You didn't take anything. That's racist. And if I had some good people around me, I could have sued that store severely. Another time, we used to do the CB radios. Now, I knew how to work the CB radio since I was like 13. So I'm in the same store, basically. It moved across the street or whatever, but it was the same store. Same people owned it. And this little white boy was on the CB. He was cussing his ass off. That's all he was doing, was keying up the mic and just cursing his ass off. So I got on the CB. I was like, breaker, breaker. And I was talking to people because I had my own CB. Again, the store clerk runs up on me. Get off the CB. Don't touch the CB. Ain't say shit to the white boy. So you've had to see this shit your whole fucking life. And now on the news, all you've been hearing for the last 2 years is just gunning black people down. No reason. No need to kill them. Killing them, killing them, killing them. And ain't none of these individuals getting found guilty. So that's why I said it's easy to talk about, oh, somebody hit me or bad. But you don't know what that person's been through. And also, maybe you did some shit. See, I keep it 100. Now, it's wrong to hit anybody. I'm like totally nonviolent, but I'm going to protect myself if I feel threatened. But I've been around crazy people that'll jump up in your face and keep talking and keep pushing. What's going to happen? Sometimes people need to keep their mouth shut because you can get that point across another time. Why is it so important for you to keep pushing this guy when you already know he's at a breaking point? Why call somebody a loser when you already know they're low in life already? And then when they snap, you want to play the victim card. Oh, I'm a victim. And So I look at the whole thing. I look at the chart. I look at life and everything. And I'm going to tell you, if you really care about this, then get serious about listening to what the universe is saying. And get through with all that bullshit that you're accustomed to. Because I'm not here for the bullshit. I went through it too. That's why you can't use them sob stories and none of that shit with me, because I was there too. Either you're going to stand up and learn how to trust in God and trust in the universe and fulfill your mission, or you're going to keep this stupid bullshit up, crying and whining about every bad thing that ever happened to you. You got to make that choice. I can't make it for you. That's not why I was saying. Nobody said, hey, you got to come here and help this one person. 7 billion people on planet Earth, but we want you to go down and help this one person. No, I'm helping everybody who wants to get help. That's what my purpose is. So that is a 6th house about healing. So he's going to have something significant help happen to him, whether it's legal, employment, health. These are all possibilities, but it's going to prepare him for the 7th house. And if you notice, his 7th house is all about the mama. That's Cancer, ruled by the moon, divine mother, and then there's the nurturer. So there's going to be a lot of nurturing in his family life. So again, that would be this person's purpose. If you are this person's twin, it's your job to get through it. And I know it's tough, because believe me, if somebody put their hands on me, I'd have a hard time getting through it too. But I'm saying, but you don't have to help. He's going through hell too. He's been going through hell because it looks like he has some issues with the family. And now you see it right across. They oppose each other. So in this man's mind, he wants to be a great worker so that he can support his family. But he comes from some type of a broken family that we already learned about. Chiron retrograde in the 4th house. And now the universe is trying to heal him so that not only can he be a good worker, but he can also be a good family man. So that's why you don't have to sit there and make his life any rougher if you don't have to. Now, as far as keeping yourself protected, of course, sometimes you got to call the cops if you got some psychopath stalking you. But you don't have to make it rougher than it needs to be. And that is his 7th house. It's all about family, relationship, nurturing, which is also healing. And it leads right to where? The Leo. His sun sign is Leo, your sun sign is Leo. And there goes Juno, which means a serious relationship and love. Wow, isn't that amazing? Now let's finish up, but this is the eerie house. Because it is a soul house. I already gave you the 8th house. But it's generally anything dark, anything creepy, cruelty, other people's money, debt, finances, karma, business. It's all there. But it's in this house, the soul house, that he'll find that Juno, that marriage partner, that true love of Venus. With 444, isn't that wonderful? And it even has the 1112. Now, how do you know that that sun is in 1111? Because you have a unique 1111 on your chart. How do you know that that sun is in 1111? Because that's a real unique, too many circumstances. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Now, yeah, you were born at 11:11 p.m. You got 444. Looks like your 9th house on Neptune. You got 8-2, which your North Node with Capricorn. My moon sign is Capricorn, and 8-2 is a big number for me. So if I saw the charts, if I saw the Leo connection, the Juno, in the 8th house, I would pretty much know these are twin souls. And don't forget, I'm a Leo too. All right. The ninth house, once again, healing. Ninth house is all about foreign stuff, culture, foreign languages, foreign land, travel, religion, philosophy. So let's just do Virgo in the ninth house. A Virgo in the ninth house is likely to live their life in alignment with their spiritual, religious, and or philosophical beliefs. You practice what you preach and teach. And because of this, you tend to be very hard on yourself when you slip up, and act out of alignment with your belief system. You may also be very judgmental of others who don't believe the same things you do or don't practice their beliefs in the way you think they should. So almost in every house we go to, this guy has a problem with criticizing other people. He's really messed up. Like, he'll try to help them or whatever. He'll try to help people more than he helps himself, but at the same time, he's really critical. Learning and practicing forgiveness and unconditional love will go a long way in reaching and connecting with others and in learning to love yourself. And it's hard because, see, that's why, if you notice, that's why she's there. If you're following this reading, everywhere where he needs help, she's there. And that's supposed to be her job. But unfortunately, it's tough. Believe me, I know how tough it is. But like I said, I can only tell you the truth. People can believe it anyway. I know if you're a guy, if you're pursuing a female, I mean, but you can't scare her or stalk her. But she may not want you at first, but if you're consistent, all of a sudden she'll start to want you. So with a female, if you kind of like, sometimes a female knows this is my twin. She may not know about twin flame, but she knows he's special. She may know first, so she'll try to pursue him, and he's like, "Oh hell no," for whatever reason. And instead of her realizing this dude's in pain, she takes that shit personal because women are very subconscious. So the first thing she does is she's going to get him back, and that's the worst mistake you can make because you're just showing him that, damn, if things don't go your way, you'll cheat on me or whatever. Because that's how mine was. And you would have been better off showing a guy like, no, I'm serious. Like, I would really like to get to know you. Because now he's going to kind of trust you. So you fuck trust up right there. So when you've been here long enough and you've tried everything, and it always comes back to the same bullshit, and you realize that it's the planet. Now, people, oh, why you're so pessimistic. No, I'm not really pessimistic. I'm just telling the truth. But that's why I became so stronger, and that's why I'm still here. And now my life has changed a lot because I realized that. Because shit's going to stay fucked up until, like, if you're talking about twin flame, that twin has got to be like, you know what? I'm sorry for whatever mistakes I made, but I'm really willing to work to make this right. And even then, you're still going to have problems, but at least they're starting to get their mind on, their head on their shoulder better. And that's what happened to Angelica on Angel Creations. And she's in my playlist. And she had to come because she fought twin flame. She hated it. She did everything not to unite with a twin. And then she finally submitted to the universe. And she actually finally told her twin, I'll do whatever I can reasonably do to make this work out with you. She submitted to the universe. And that's a major step. And a lot of people won't do that. And then, you know, when you've been here long enough, you're just not with the bullshit. And my whole life, like I said, I never expect everything I said I would not expect in a relationship. Everything I said I would not accept in a relationship is exactly what the universe gave me. Everything I said I would not put up with. they gave that to me and shit. So that was real challenging. So they're saying this person has to learn how to practice unconditional love. But where that is in his 8th house. But he can't do it without that Juno, his partner. He's never going to practice unconditional love without his partner. That's one of the reasons why he's fucked up, because he needs that. But if he's that messed up, it's going to be hard for her to get close. Because this person definitely has a self-love problem. We knew that from the earliest houses. So if you notice, your 9th house, his 9th house is working with his 6th house, because it's the Virgo healing energy. So Virgo concerns itself with abstract thought, higher education, the higher mind, and above all, the Christ concept. See, that's still a Virgin Mother Mary. So he's got a connection. Whether he's Catholic or not doesn't matter. He's got a connection to the Divine Mother. Virgo is historically related to the Renaissance period and is responsible for the present cycle of development of levels of awareness and bringing the Christ consciousness to mind of a man. So I don't know. It's kind of funny how you got Saturn right there in the 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo with the vertex cross. That's crazy. This then emphasizes the responsibility that Virgo has of being a sincere seeker of higher knowledge. Again, by direct reaction to the 3rd house, it's necessary to communicate to share all of this with others. And his 3rd house is Pisces. And if you notice, it is opposing. Pisces is opposing Virgo. So it is that whole Christ thing. That's why. So he's got some weird shit going on. He got Christ. He got Jesus Christ. He got Mary. And I'm wondering why he got Saturn there. But God does say, the Bible does say, turn him over to Saturn. Basically, the Bible says if somebody's acting like out of harmony with what a Christian should do, turn him over to Saturn and to Satan. And that's what's going on in his 6th house. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's what's going on. You already know that he's been locked up. He's already been arrested and shit. This is so cool. This is why I love doing these charts. That's why I love this shit. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm never gonna betray the real for the fake shit. I'm a real person. And people want you to get all caught up in their bullshit and their emotions. I could give a fuck less. Listen, just like if you're on crack, your ass gotta get off that crack, nigga. Don't nobody want to listen to what the fuck you talking about. You on crack. Why the fuck would I waste my time listening to a damn crack addict? Get the fuck off the crack. That's my job, to help you get off the shit. To be that big brother, that tough love. That's my job. My job is not to worry about who the fuck hit you and all that shit. I'm from the streets. I see people get hit all the fucking time and shit. Like, damn, how come my whole house niggas was getting fucked? You could get woke up out of your sleep and beat the fuck down for no reason and shit. You could get beat up going in the bathroom for closing the door and shit. I done seen that shit my whole life. I don't give a fuck. I done seen that my whole life. I'm not here for that shit. I'm not giving no attention to that shit. I'm going to tell you how you can get help or how you can get healing, but I'm not going to hold your hand, nigga. Man up. This is a fucked up world you in. You better learn how to fight if you want to live. I still look good, nigga. I've been here for a minute. I still look good. I still got confidence. Why? Because I didn't let this crazy planet beat me. And when you get with God and God throws you in the deep, you ain't seen nothing till you get in the deep. But then it makes you stronger. You stop worrying about all that stupid shit. What is my purpose? Why am I here? How can I stay close to God? That's what you should be worrying about. And all that other stuff, as long as you caught up on all that worldly shit, you're gonna keep on having worldly problems. That shit, everything has a place. So like in your house, you have certain things. You put it in drawers and shit. Let's just say you say, damn, I want to dress up like I did when I went to Woodstock, if you that old. So you go to your little closet, pull out your Woodstock album, and put that thing on and be dancing around a Jimi Hendrix or the Who or somebody. And you can put that on YouTube if you want. But then you put all that shit back in the closet and realize it's not 1960s no more. It's 2017. So it's a time and place for everything. But when you get caught up on one thing and think the whole world's supposed to revolve around that one thing you caught up on, I come with that reality check. That's why my Saturn is retrograde, I think. And that's a no-nonsense type of person. We're not really with all them games. And for people that listen, they get better. Yep, in my 9th house with my medium Coeli, my Saturn is in Aquarius, retrograde. So we're here to enlighten on some real shit. We're not here for that, all that fake shit, all that vanity and all that bullshit. It says, however, since the 9th house deals with philosophy, psychology, comparative religions, and all the higher knowledge, it is a responsibility of Virgo to translate or reduce this knowledge to a practical workaday level. So they still talking about work. This knowledge must be superficially garnered. It is this location of Virgo which further emphasizes the discriminative quality of Virgo insofar as what is truth, what is true knowledge, and what is false knowledge. And with the 9th house as the culmination of the partnership with life, because I told you the higher consciousness. How you going to get to your higher consciousness if both of y'all ain't back together? Because you and them are the same person. Higher consciousness, you two becoming one, and it's feminine. The 7th and of life's mysteries. The 8th issues. The 8th, unless Virgo has built a solid foundation in these two previous houses, he will not be able to sincerely present the knowledge which he has gained. This again is the harvesting quality of Virgo. So Virgo, so you got all this feminine energy trying to help your relationship, no matter how bad it seems. Vesta's trying to help. That's why Vesta's in your sign, Leo. So you got all these feminine trying to bring the whole togetherness, the spirituality of it. And you got to think. Like I know you said you're going to try to get caught up in my videos, which you probably won't ever be able to do because it's so long. But if you listen to my recent videos, I've never did a video where you've seen so much spirituality than yours. Just what I'm doing right now with him. You've had all kind of asteroids and show up, and Virgo, Venus showed up, Juno, but they're all like speaking spiritual though. So I don't know if he's a spiritual person because I never knew you to really be like religious minded and spiritual. I could be wrong about that. I just don't know. Maybe he is. But the vibe I'm getting off of him was he's a special dude, but he just got hurt, and now he's fucked up. But that doesn't make him a bad person. See, I'm not like y'all. I don't judge people like that external bullshit. That's weak. I don't believe in feeding people to the sharks unless they really deserve it. And most of the people that get thrown in, whatever they really don't deserve that shit. Just like if you're gonna come through the hood and arrest all the black people and shit, but you don't go through no other locations arresting nobody else. That's some racial shit. So a lot of people that they do dirty don't deserve that dirty, but they would never do that to somebody else. All right. Mercury will always be communication and thought, and we already said that this person is also going to be talking to the world as well, but possibly to the twin. And you can keep in mind that Pluto is very close to his 10th house, so that energy of Pluto is going to carry over. Pluto in the 9th house. This is my astrologybook.com again in 3D. So they keep talking about the search for truth. The search for truth. The 9th house is where we search for truth, experiences that broaden the mind and help us form our philosophy of life. Here we expand our consciousness, synthesize meaning and facts and experiences, adjust personal attitudes and collective ideas, and understand how things are integrated into systems. The house rules higher education, religious and ethical understanding, spiritual visions, in-laws, long journeys, law, and the higher courts. And I remember when I studied with Terry Nassan back in 2011, I remember them saying in-laws and stuff, but I forgot all about that. Because like I said, I gave one of my greatest astrology predictions ever because of Terry Nassan. Here's what remains of the purification that took place in the 8th house. Okay, so the 8th house is for purifying, and that's where you two really meet with the Juno and the Leo. He put religion in quotes. Religion comes from the Latin word back, being back, returning, Ligar, and that's my name. I never knew my name was in religion. Ain't that cool? G-A-R. Ligar, L-I-G-A-R-E. Ligar is a religion, the lig part of religion, to bind, pinch, to bind back, and thus refers all things that last or endure, such as truth. Many planets in the ninth are usually an indication of being unwilling to accept the conventional limits in which we were raised. Well, see, he's got to rebel against that. If he was raised the wrong way, that's his truth, because he was raised the wrong way. So he's got to get to the truth. I know my family. Like, in order for me, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I would be crazy. I would really be crazy, not crazy, not just hyper. I would really be like in a crazy house crazy, or locked up crazy, or dead, shot and killed crazy. But I had to realize these people are crazy. I'm not the crazy one. It's these people around me that are crazy. Just like my job. I went to my job to work. They're the ones up in there with all that bullshit. I'm not the crazy one. You're the crazy one. You're not going to sit here and tell me that somebody can say I'm doing something that I'm not doing and there's nothing I can do about it. Fuck you. You're not going to tell me that, oh, that doesn't matter. You're talking about what's going on here is going to affect your ministry. This has nothing to do with, like basically he was saying fuck you in your ministry. I was like, no, fuck you. Fuck you and your, if you're not man enough to get to the bottom of this, because that's what if I was a fucking boss and somebody came in my office with this, I'm not gonna fire nobody. What the hell's going on? Because I know what it's like to be unemployed. That's why I'm glad I'm from the gutter. That's the worst thing I would do. I'm not just gonna sit there and say, hey, you're fired because some bitch is lying on you and shit, and we're not gonna investigate it. We're just gonna fire you because it's easier. Now, whoever needs to get disciplined will be disciplined. And once I get involved, I'm going to set the standard because I am the boss. That's what Saturn's supposed to do. And then those standards are going to be followed or enforced. And each person can make their choice. Whatever's going on here, it sounds like you guys still are acting like you're in junior high school somewhere. This is a place of business. And this is how it's going to be connected. And no, she's not going to get no escort to the car because she's not in danger. This guy's an ordained minister. We haven't proven that he did anything to where she thinks she needs an escort to the car. That shit sounds a little crazy to me. I would have shut that shit down quick as I don't know what. If you have any situations, report it to us quickly. And you have 9/11 if you feel like you need 9/11. But other than that, nobody's escorting you to no car nowhere. This guy's been working here almost as long as you. He's never had a problem. Obviously, you two got something strange going on that we don't fully understand. But I'm not going to make him look bad. Like, he was like, fuck me. Fuck my reputation. Fuck everything. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This bitch is lying and you're going to fucking put that shit on me? So you damn right I fall for myself. Fired on Monday by that piece of shit. Well, I take that back. He was a nice guy. He just was misinformed. Fired on Monday by that individual to fire me. On Wednesday, another boss called me. And I was back to work already, making better money than I had there. And that money held me up until the other money came from these idiots for firing me in the first place. Because you can't just fire somebody at the drop of a dime. And it was an investigation. I have my paperwork. We found no proof that this guy did anything wrong or that he broke any company policies. The devil is a liar. So yeah, you gotta fight. That's why I gotta stay the way I am. You know what I'm saying? And people talking about, I stopped listening to you because you just seem, Get your life together. Don't worry so much about mine, because my life, my bills are being paid. Ain't nobody putting their hands on me. My life is good. What you should be doing is listening and learning so that your life will get better. Not trying to tell me you don't like the tone and all that stuff because you're not where I'm at. That's like me going to Harvard and sitting in a classroom with a professor and say, "Hey, I don't like your mannerism," and I think the message would the message you're trying to teach would be so much more palatable. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. If you did it this way, he's looking at you like, "Who the hell are you? What are your credentials? Get the fuck out of my classroom." That's the problem. Too many people try to lead when they need to learn how to listen and make adjustments, and that's how you get better. That's how your situation gets better. The arena of greatest intensity and personal growth in your life of higher education or your spiritual and philosophical beliefs. The ninth house is where you either transform and evolve or that which must die is annihilated. You may be able to breathe new life into already established doctrines and beliefs. You are passionate in your search for truth, and your travels will be a great source of growth and personal renewal. If Pluto is in hard aspect to the Sun, Mars, Saturn, or Uranus, you may have great power struggles with in-laws. And if both Mars and Saturn are involved, be aware of violence in that regard as well. Okay, fortunately he has Pluto and Mercury in the ninth house, but his Pluto is that energy is being shared with Uranus in the 10th house, and you see Libra right there, which is relationships and stuff. So if Pluto is in hard aspect with Saturn and Uranus, you may have great power struggles and in-laws. So that may be the case. Only she would know that. But he mentioned Mars, but see, Mars is over here. It's really opposite. It's Mars retrograde, but it's really opposite of it. But we've already ascertained that he has some problems, even with violence and stuff. We've already ascertained that anyway. So that's Pluto and Pluto is helping Pluto is helping Virgo out too. But the worry is this, that critical. See, Pluto can expand too, and Pluto is transforming as well. So again, that whole critical stuff can be a situation. And then with Lilith, because I doubt if they're going to give me Lilith retrograde in Virgo. This is crazy. This says Pluto in Virgo, which is what you have, but then it says Lilith in the 6th house. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo. I'm just going to look at this and see what it says. All right, I remember this person. I did her before, but she's very, very deep and very, very long-winded. And she goes off track. The information she uses is good, but she really goes off track. All I really need Lilith and Virgo, but I'm really looking at the 9th house. Let's do Lilith. Let's do Lilith in the houses. This is emo astrology. Aha. Do y'all know what emo is? Aha. Oh, she looking weird. She's got on all black and feathers and snakes all around her and shit. Ah. All right. I'm at emoastrology.tumblr without the e.com. Again, emoastrology.tumblr without the e.com. All right. Lilith in the 6th house. Well, the 6th house is Virgo, so this is what we're going to do right now. With Lilith in the 6th house, a person's natural sense of duty and how he or she goes about getting things done is what is judged by others as potentially dangerous. People who might be in a position to mentor or train the person as an apprentice may sense something unruly and threatening about him or her and not be willing to take the person as a student. See, that I told you, the 9th house is like your mentor house. So they're saying your mentor won't even want to work with you. And sometimes your mentor is your twin. It also indicates that this person's natural mentors are connected with Lilith. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. See, I think it's a good chance that my twin should have been my mentor. And I know she was Lilith because her ass she was out there. Understand and express their own version of Lilith energy. Finding such persons will be difficult if Lilith is hiding in the person. And if she is not, finding them will involve first crossing many potential teachers off the list who reject the individual forthright expression of his or her reality. All right, we did that. Now we're going to do Lilith in Virgo because your Lilith is in Virgo, but Virgo does rule the 6th house. Lilith in the signs of the zodiac. Lilith in Virgo makes a person pretty. No, it makes a person petty, vindictive, and dependent on the powerful people of this world. Such a person manipulates themselves by playing on their sense of duty and responsibility, aiming to develop a complex of guilt in them. The person is emotionally vulnerable to the impact of conflicts and therefore tries to act properly in every movement in every place, keeping from breaking rules and laws, a strategy which allows them to avoid confrontation and thus to hide their inner storm of emotions that assails them. They tend to overindulge in critical self-analysis. They can show greed, a tendency to quarrel, cynicism, callousism, exaggerated sense of formalities, pedantry, and may tend to act like a square. They often play the role of a white, fragile, and innocent creature. So that's deep. So again, like I said, what happened to me when I was going back and forth with the guy that I was employed by. See, this is what happens. They say, oh, this guy's normally quiet. Maybe this is his real personality, and maybe that's why she's scared. See, you're not really gonna win, but this is what he told me, and this is what the guy that fired me told me. He was right. He said, this is what you did wrong. He said, as soon as that stuff started, he said you should have came in. He said you didn't come and you let it blow way out of proportion, and now it's nothing we can do for you. So he did tell me that was cool, because like I said, he wasn't a bad dude. He's like really cool. But I just felt like, damn, all you niggas is coming against me, and all I wanted to do was work and shit. I was pissed off. But then, like I said, that's my whole life and shit. Now I want to play the violin, but truthfully, it was. So now what I'm trying to tell you is this Lilith. That's what they say. These Lilith-minded people, they act nice, they obey all the rules, but deep down, they're like really evil and shit. So that's what they're saying. Now, but there's different levels of Lilith. So now they say the inferior level. The person puts intelligence, information above all. They have a cool head. They try to make others work for them and fool their superiors. This is the karma of a slave, a lackey, a bootlicker, a parasite, a sadistic doctor, or one who killed, thus violating the Hippocratic oath. So they're saying whatever you see is karma. In the past life, the person was petty, greedy, quarrelsome, cynical, despised noble feelings, was using their family while depriving them of assistance and support when they needed them. Their present carnation is characterized by coldness, fidgety, or by sexual promiscuity and moral depredation. But how I won, see, this is why I try to tell you, and I get so mad because I get so many people. 1 minute they're telling me how great I am, and then they try to flip. They try to flip on me, and I gotta watch these people because they be like fake, phony frauds and shit. And it's sad. But the reason why I won at that employment thing, well, God helped me because I really couldn't have won. Because I really tried to be real with her, and everything I did or gave her, she took and flipped it and made it wicked and made it seem like I was like stalking her. But she left out the whole part of how she was in part of that. But how I won was, of course, God. But I stood up for myself. And I was willing to go anyway. You want to put me on trial, put me on trial. But you're not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and let you lie. And when I say trial, because when you get fired, they do have trials and shit. Like you can report them and they'll have a trial to see who's lying and shit. To try to figure out who's entitled to what. Or were you unjustly fired? So that's what I said. I was like, put me on trial. So they did, and then I won. But what he said was true. And I hate to say that. It said our world is so fucked up. But you really can't. You got to really... You can't be worrying about love and shit. If you go to work, you can't be worrying about that shit. Because that person talking about they love you or that twin flame, that nigga's trying to get you fired and shit. What you gonna do when you get fired? So you can't be worrying about that shit. If you really want to get to know me, talk off work or whatever. Or stop playing these games up in here because it's obviously you're just trying to get me fired. If you really want to get to know me, you'd be talking off work. Not fucking around with the job. So that's a piece of information. And we are talking about Virgo, which they were talking about in the 6th house, work and shit. And Lilith, because Lilith, has a reputation for stuff like this. All right, I'm going to pause this for a second. I'll be back. All right. Now we're continuing with Lilith and Virgo. On the intermediate level, this person is constantly suffering humiliation in the workplace. So everybody keeps saying they have some type of workplace issues. But you do see the healing. They're trying to heal it too, but it just seems like this person has a lot of they're rejected by people. They let the person know how little they matter. And blaming the person for everything. This person is often suffering health issues and under the constant stress of daily problems that force them to spend their money inefficiently. In the past life, the person lacked dignity, was a stooge, a lackey, tried to get others to solve their problems, and did not take the necessary time to reflect on external values. In the current incarnation, she has to play secondary roles. Others make a fool of her job, do not let her live her life in her own way. She is forced to take care of sick people and to perform unpleasant duties. And I've heard that before, like whenever you see Virgo, these are people that maybe take care of the people that can't take care of themselves and clean up, when they go to the bathroom, they have to clean them up and clean it all up and clean up their homes. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I want y'all to understand that. Some people think it is because when people don't want to clean and you don't want to be cleaning nobody else's whatever. But that's not, if that's your job or if you're in healthcare, so that's not a bad thing. Sometimes if you allow people to tell you shit and you believe it, you understand? You don't just go, if I'm getting a paycheck, I'm cool because I used to clean. I used to take care of elderly people, but the only reason why I stopped doing it because I wanted to work around nice people, and I said, hey, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go work around people that take care of elderly people because they're probably really caring, nice people. But a lot of those people were assholes. Like the elderly, but I got along with all the elderly people. Even the ones that they said, hey, don't mess with that person. That person's good. No. I got along with all of them. They all like me. I like them and shit. And but it was the people around, the people that were supposed to be caring about them. They didn't care shit about them. And I like me. I'm not with this third dimensional bullshit. Because I can't see shit and just feel, going about my day. I see shit, it gets to me. Like, how could people be so fucking cold? Like, this person is dying, and you don't even give a fuck. And that's how it was. So I quit. And this is what happened. I quit, so they put, again, because whenever you lose a job, you got to go an investigation. Like, well, why did you quit? And first the lady was, I said I was trained to respect the elderly. She said, I said I was raised by my parents to respect the elderly. And she didn't know what I meant. So she said she just went off. She was going off on me. And you walked out. But when I told her why and what I saw, then they tapped out. They said, no, he shouldn't have been working there anyway. They said because really he wasn't trained or qualified to work there. And that job wasn't for him. And then the state ruled in my favor. Because at that same time, the state was already investigating another old folks' place. Where like the old people was dying because the people didn't give a fuck. And it's so sad that these people, all they worrying about is a paycheck. They don't give a fuck about them people. And this is what some of them say. Well, you don't understand. When these people were our age, they were just like us. They didn't give a fuck about people. And now it's karma. Now whatever's happening to them is because they were evil. But the way I look at it is, when you learn how to respect life, you take care of life. And also, you're not God. So I know when I read my Bible, it says to stand up for the elderly and respect the elderly. So I try to respect the elderly to the best I can. Now, for old ladies being rude and in my way, I will say, get out of my way, old lady. Because I had to step that lady in church. I hate to have to admit this. But it was the day my sister got married. And our family, we was happy and everything. And they was rushing us out to church. Because everything was allegedly on a time schedule or something. We was like, man, this is a happy day. My sister just got married. You're not going to tell us what to do. My mother been a member of this church. My mother's grandfather built this church. What you talking? You ain't rushing us out this church. So we was going down the aisle and shit, and we was dancing. And so this old lady gonna stick out her, an old black lady gonna stick out her hand and push me. I said, keep your hands off me, old lady. Are you crazy? So gotta have to back old lady if she got it coming. But other than that, I'm all for taking care of the elderly as long as they don't get too crazy. No, I'm just sure I wouldn't back smacking. Now, they say this Lilith and Virgo, a big risk lies for her in food poisoning or in the consequences following an earthquake or a subway accident. She also runs the risk of becoming the victim of a medical error, a bureaucratic confusion, or to suffer harassment in a place of work. Now, you know what's funny? I'm not going to tell you who it was, but it was a man. He's not in my family. Remember, the ninth house is about in-laws? This was an in-law. And from the moment I met these people, I didn't like them. Because they thought they were better than people. And that's what we're reading about. Like these people were Lilith in the ninth house and all these in the ninth house. They think they're better than people. So I didn't like them. So one time we was at some type of get together. And he called me over to him. Now he didn't call me over to him to say hello or how you doing. He called me over to ask me a question that will make me feel insignificant. To ask me less, like being less than a man. So shortly thereafter, he died. Why did he die? Because his doctor was prescribing the wrong medicine and he was taking it. And he died. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. I keep trying to teach y'all about karma. See, instead of telling me to watch my tone and all that stupid shit a lot of y'all be saying, you need to learn to listen to the information. Because I'm saving lives. Anybody listening to me is probably going to get some years added to their lives. Some people listening to me, if you have a fucked up relationship, once you stop doing certain things, the relationship might get better. Not blaming it on you, but the fact two wrongs don't make a right. So one person got to stop acting like an idiot. If my twin wants to talk, I'll be right there. But she's got to grow up a little bit. Because that fantasy world she was in proved my point. All it did was cause problems, primarily for me, but for herself as well. So he was a victim of a medical error. They prescribed the wrong medicine, which killed him. But maybe if he wasn't so, You got to watch how you treat other people. So they say, so this person can be petty. They can indulge in hypochondriac, always acting like they're sick. And they're always worried that somebody might be smarter than them. But now there is a Lilith in the 9th house, or Lilith in Virgo. Because that's what she's got. Lilith's in the 9th house, but it's Virgo's there. The superior level. The person has a good knowledge of the material side of life. They have a profession. They are a professional with a capital P. They know how to optimize their use of modern technology. They easily recognize real doctors and real medicine and keeps in excellent health. In their past life, the person got rid of their slaves' origins and became aware of the danger of knowledge and science when devoid of spirituality. Now she fights against everything that makes man too down to earth and ties him to a daily life of banality. She also fights against the tendency of civilization to transform man into no more than a mechanism. In this level, she acquires the gift of noticing the details and nuances that help bring forth a non-trivial solution to any problem. The main commandment of Lilith in the 9th house in Virgo, because her Virgo's in the 9th house. I'm trying to make sure y'all hear what I'm saying. Do not be afraid to do the dirty work. Drag your cart and take care of the sick. But now, you read all that. So again, Lilith in retrograde means whatever that is, she's going to hold it in. It's going to be internal. And in that way, she can be highly manipulative or highly secretive. Or she'll be seeing negative where negative may not even really be there. And also Lilith tends to be highly sexual. But again, this is all healing. This is continuing the 6th house healing. Which is why they kind of, with Pluto, they kind of connect your Pluto to Saturn. Because Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn rules your 10th house. And also, Pluto and Saturn both teach lessons. So that's why sometimes you have to call the police on somebody, because that's part of their healing. And it's sad because they may go to jail. But see, when you're in jail and you find out what life's really like, but sometimes we forget. Sometimes we can get mad, or we think we're right, and we think we can start cursing people out or treating people a certain way. But if that person did pick up the telephone and call the police, and they throw your ass in jail, you're gonna find some real killers, real bullies, real homos, niggas that don't give a fuck about you. And then you're gonna realize, damn, I used to be able to sleep on my own bed. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. Now, not only are the COs telling me what the fuck to do, I got all these inmates telling me what to do. And it could be the most horrible experience in your life. So that's why you learn how to treat people better. Even if somebody's getting on your nerves, you learn how to just swallow your pride, swallow your tongue, and try to handle it a different way. Because even Tupac said that. When Tupac was in jail, he said, one thing I learned when I got here, he said, when you're not in jail or you on the street, if something happened, you handle it a different way. He said, but in here, you got to watch everything you do, because you don't know who's in here. You don't know who knows who. And if they want to get you, they can get you. So you don't want to be pissing nobody off, because that person you piss off might be the very person that maybe pay somebody to stab your ass up or something like that. So Tupac said, you still handle situations, but you got to learn how to handle it a different way. It can't be all that badass stuff you do on the street. And why is that important? Because we're going into the 10th house, which is connected to your 9th house through Pluto, the underworld, and Scorpio, the 8th house, karma. And you see the scales right there. Libra is the scales, it's justice, it's relationships, it's contracts, stuff like that. So let's do Libra in the 10th house. Your partnership is the defining element of your public or personal identity. This is something about your partnership. There is something about your partnership, maybe even your partner yourself, that defines you in the public and professional arena of your life, your career, and professional ambitions may be dependent on your relationship with your partner. You may find that your public persona doesn't shine as brightly without a partner to help you shine, or it may be that you don't like to be in the spotlight alone. You may find that having a partner to share center stage with helps ease the pressure of the limelight of both of you. All right, but again, this could be a relationship, twin flame partner, relationship partner. It could be a business partner. But also, you got to remember that that's also about law and justice and karma and stuff. So, looking on the chart, it just seems like he's going to go through hell before he realizes he needs you. And that seems to be the universe's one of the biggest messages the universe is doing with him. Uranus and Libra. This is myastrologybook.com. Uranus was in Libra only 7 years since the 1800s, from October 1968 through November 1974, as well as May to September 1975. This period represents great transformation in marriage and partnership, law and art. Unconventional, previously unacceptable, or new ways of relating, such as homosexual, group, or just more loosely defined unions, become more commonplace. The spirit of the union, rather than its legality, is more important here, as Uranus and Libra symbolizes independence and willful souls seeking greater freedom in relationship. You may therefore go through a lot of changes trying to find acceptable space and boundaries, or a working definition, for you and your partners. Uh, Uranus or Venus can mean your kidney problems, but that is if they're retrograde. So this person will be very tolerant and accepting in differences. You have insights and social values. You like to facilitate compromise and show your breadth of scope in relating, like a coat of many colors, and that's Joseph in the Bible. Uranus returns to each sign every 84 years. So what it's really saying is this dude's going to have a liberal. Since Uranus stays 7 years in each sign, its effect in Libra is collective and global rather than an individual. See, that makes a big point. Because somebody might look at this and take it personal, but it might not be personal. It might actually be collective and global. Every planet, however, including Neptune, is in a different house every 2 years due to the Earth's daily rotation on the axis. Therefore, Uranus position by house is very individual in most cases. All right, so you can take that any way you want to. It could mean the universe is going to help him change and he's going to see a relationship differently. Or, because we've seen it a few times, if anybody's been listening, it's possible he may just turn out, he may have already done it, he may turn out and be in a different type of relationship. Because we've seen that in a few houses. So that one is definitely up in the air. And you got to remember your 9th house is kind of connected to your 10th house. And you can find out where Capricorn is. And that was the ascendant with the moon and Vesta. We know, and even they said Vesta can be freaky, sexual. And I was like, that's the first time I've ever really heard that, because I thought Vesta was spiritual. But then they said Pallas was freaky and sexual. And then where's Saturn? And then Saturn's in that 6th house. Well, the main thing, the universe is taking him through all these changes to hopefully make him appreciate a relationship. And that's how the healing will begin. Because that's one thing about Virgo. Virgo is definitely trying to heal the relationship. But it's a lot of weird stuff going on too. That's all I can tell you. Now, this person did request an update. The truth of the matter is, definitely counseling needs to be, like, this person needs counseling. And even the person that requested this may need counseling. Because me and this person go way back. When I first started doing natal charts, they were like, they were one of the first people to get the natal chart. Been a major support to me. And also, I still remember that natal chart. Because I usually don't remember natal charts. Once I'm done with your natal chart, it's done. Why? Because it's personal. And the second thing is, it's for you to learn. Now, if you need further help, I'm here. But it's just not my place to worry about, because I got my own life. So I can't worry about other people's natal chart because I got my own life. But if you need help, I'm here. If you want a service, I'm here. But other than that, I explained everything. I showed you what each sign means. So it's really more like the person sitting down, taking the time. Maybe if you pray, whatever you do to get wisdom, and taking notes. And then you'll have better questions if you do have questions. But the worst mistake you can make is to get offended or try to contact me and thinking somehow you're going to give me a piece of your mind. Because that's just stupid. Like, really. Like, I can't, I'm just an honest dude, bro. Like, I'm not, I'm you know what I'm saying? Well, why the fuck are you getting upset with me? Especially now you see me go into, get a second opinion on everything. So it's not like it's just me saying it. You know? I could say if you paid somebody and it was just them saying it. And you say, why did you say that? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm also backing it up with expert astrologers and stuff. And I'm giving you the references. So instead of trying to immediately contact me with an argument, why don't you look up the references and do the study and try to find out what's going on with your life so you can help improve it. It's a little silly to come back at me that fast, especially if you're not really coming back with any information, anything that we can work with. That's a little silly. So I don't play those games. But for people that really want the natal charts, really want help and trying to find out what's going on. But in a case like this, I know for a fact he needs to be under some very in-depth counseling, and the person I requested this may need to too. So that's what's up. Now, whether they choose to do that, there's nothing I can do about that. But my job is to tell the truth and try to and hope and pray that people do what's best for them as a whole, as an individual, as a group, and sometimes even as a family. All right. So if anybody wants any of these other readings out here, want to see whatever services, you can contact me. That information is in the description box. And I also have an option list with all the services on it as well that are offered. God bless.